Are we definitely live this time, Alex?
We were live last time.
We were. What is it? Fourth time lucky? Let's see what's going on.
Well, now that you're here, finally.
Sorry, guys, we're late today, and we know who to blame. Anyway, welcome to another live stream. Today we're going to be talking about what to pair with your cigar, what kind of drinks, what food, and all that kind of stuff. Because generally speaking, cigars, ideally you don't want to have it alone. You don't want to just sit there with a dry mouth and a cigar. That's probably not a good vibe. So pairing it with something is probably an idea. And in this video, that's what we're going to be discussing. And I'm going to be leaning a little bit on Ray for this one. So Ray seems happy about it, so that's fine. And yeah, that's what we're going to be discussing. But before we get into that, just a quick word from our sponsor, Monte Fortuna Cigars. Monte Fortuna Cigars has been kind enough to support our live stream videos, so really appreciate it. Make sure you check out their website. We'll leave a link below. Their website has a huge selection of cigars, both Cuban and non-Cuban cigars. Like their non-Cuban cigars have been ramping up a lot. There's a bunch of brands on there I've never even heard of, but they look good. So definitely check them out. Their prices are great. Their service is amazing. I highly, highly recommend them. I'm a genuine customer of theirs as well, so I'm telling you that they're awesome based on first-hand experience. So yeah, make sure you check out Monte Fortuna Cigars. Again, link is below, and thank you for supporting us. Supporting us?
Supporting us.
That's not a word, is it?
No, it sounds vaguely medical.
Supporting us.
You know, some languages, they don't have the letter P.
Which language?
Arabic.
They don't have P.
They don't have P.
They don't pee in Arabic?
Well, they be. So they don't have the letter P. So for Pepsi, they call it Bebsi.
Let's stop talking about languages.
Anyway, cigars and pairings. So Ray, what are you drinking today?
Good evening, everyone. And
oh, very formal.
So everyone, what I say? Good evening,
everyone. No, I said very formal.
You said you're formal for
oh, very formal.
Addressing them.
Everyone, not very formal, whatever they hear. Yeah, cigars and pairings.
No, you're mishearing us, mate. We heard you fine.
I have the big umbrella here. Maybe that stopped the sound.
Don't blame the light.
Yeah, what I'm smoking, what I'm drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I am smoking a cigar which was being sent to us, to me and Usman, a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
by our friend Georgie. So
Huge,
I promised him I'm gonna smoke it in the live. I'll tell him what I'm thinking straight away. So I start like half an hour ago. It's a brand which I believe is not international brand. It's only for domestic US market. The guy is, I think, it's based somewhere in Tampa. It's called Kurivari or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I never heard before that. It's a big letter C, 1987 on it. It's very oily looking cigar, very.
It's a very
dark,
pretty looking cigar.
Pretty looking cigar, yeah. Very nice packed, box pressed. I reckon it's like it was a Churchill or Long Toro or something like that.
That's a Toro. Or is it 654?
Looks like bigger than Toro, but yeah, it's something like that. Which so far it's been a little bit blunt. I feel some acidity and that kind of stuff, which an earthiness. Which is not the best if I'm looking in a dark cigar, but yeah, I'll give it a go. And what I'm drinking, unfortunately again I'm drinking water, so I'm driving and
you don't like coffee or tea, do you?
I don't like coffee, tea. I don't mind tea, but you don't have good tea.
Hey, what do you mean I don't have good tea?
I knew they were gonna jump on me.
Whoa! No! Let's just stop right there for a second. Let's just stop right there. I'm gonna stop you both, okay? What do you mean I don't have good tea?
You offer me English tea. I don't drink English tea.
What kind of get up?
Your life. Don't do silly stuff. Your life.
What do you mean you don't like coffee? How much does your coffee machine cost?
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I'd like one coffee.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. As if you paid that much and you didn't like coffee.
About one coffee a day, and I don't drink it late because literally I'm planning to sleep in a few hours.
No, Ray is just gonna lie and say, "Oh, it's for the wife. It's for the wife. It wasn't for me."
And it's mostly true because my wife drinks like 3 or 4 coffees a day. So
yeah,
I drink 1, 2 a week.
So you're drinking water, Alex.
Yes.
What are you drinking?
I've got rum.
Heathen.
It's 7 years old.
Complete heathen.
and I'm lighting a cigar.
We're gonna stop talking to him, because he can't do two things at once from the looks of it. We'll talk to Rachel.
I can't remember what the rum is.
We'll talk to Rachel about that.
Right
Abuelo 7.
Abuelo 7.
Is he Abuelo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one that came from. Yeah. What am I smoking? I'm smoking a cigar that Georgie gave me as well.
You're not on the camera.
Am I not on the camera?
Alex is busy
Oh,
to
thanks for
switch
that,
on the
Alex.
camera.
You're too busy lighting your cigar. Appreciate it.
You're on the camera now, you can talk about.
He doesn't even care. Yeah, so the cigar I'm smoking is the Arturo Fuente Lost City Opus X. I've heard a lot of good things about this cigar, you know. Unfortunately, mine came with a huge crack. Transit, you know, came from overseas, right?
From the States.
You know, those guys in customs don't give a crap, do they?
At least you have the cigar.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I'll smoke it anyway. I'll use the band to kind of keep it together. But yeah, Opus X, man. Georgie, huge thank you. God, honestly, this is an amazing thing to give. So I really appreciate that. In terms of drink, I'm having a coffee. Is Georgie there?
Yeah, he's glad smoking.
Hey, good to see you, Georgie. And
I assume that he's called George, so.
Oh.
And he says he's glad you're smoking them, so I assume that's got to be him.
Could be, yeah. And I'm having a coffee, which I accidentally put too much milk in. And Ray's going to give me a hard time about the milk. So go on, Ray. Let's talk about pairings and milk and why you shouldn't have milk in your coffee. Give me that lecture. Let's hear this out. I've been waiting for this lecture.
Where to start?
With that, coffee and
why
milk.
do you not supposed to have milk when you drink, when you smoke?
Yes.
Basically, the simple explanation is the milk have a, what is the English letter? An English word. No.
Lactose is a sugar.
No, not the sugar. Well, the sugar do the same thing. Basically, the milk and the sugar basically kill your taste buds in the mouth. They not kill them, you know, forever. They just temporarily blind them.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
So when you have more, let's say if you eat, some people like to pair the stuff with the chocolate. I'll go back later to the chocolate, but it's not a good idea to pair with the milk chocolate. You need to have at least 60% cocoa in the chocolate to be
do you know what?
nice taste, because that will overkill the taste of the cigar, and you don't want to do that in a pairing. The most important thing and the only thing you need to follow when you pair the cigar with drink, food or whatever, you need to balance.
Well, can I say something very quickly?
Yeah.
We've got some dark chocolate. Alex, do you mind just quickly grabbing it?
Later, next week.
No, we're talking about pairings. It's literally just in the other room.
But to find the difference, you need a few different chocolates with different percentage cocoa.
Yeah, we've got 37%, we've got 70%.
You need at least 60.
Do you
37 don't work.
70?
70, yeah, but 37 don't work.
37, yeah, but we could, okay, fine. Well, I'm gonna
so yeah, basically the milk and the sugar kill a little bit in the taste, and you don't have the balance.
I see. I'm going to be honest with you. Whenever I have my cigars, I tend to find that they taste a little bit better if I have a coffee with milk in.
Well, it's also a thing we need to mention in the beginning, probably. It's all subjective.
That's true.
Everyone have his own taste. I know people like to drink cigar and whiskey. You know, I drink whiskey twice in a year. That's it. You
prefer rum, don't you?
Yeah. So if you like some way, drink it in that way. I'll just try to explain more scientifically why it's not supposed to be, okay.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
no. That's
but
exactly
if someone have a preference, I love drinking. Especially, I like to pair cigar with milk. I say it's not right, but I love the taste. Especially if the cigar is not good enough. If the cigar is not perfect, go grab a pint of milk and drink with the cigar.
A pint of milk?
Yeah.
A pint of milk?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's a heavy session. Especially when
every single day I drink about a liter of water and about a liter and a half of milk.
Damn.
So I can drink more milk than water every day. It's my favorite drink, milk, fresh milk.
Oof, too heavy, man, too heavy.
No, I'm alright with that.
Yeah?
So, yeah, pairings, let's start that way. There is two types of pairings. Complementary pairings and opposite pairings. So the complementary pairings, basically drinks which usually complement the taste of the cigar. So if you have dark Maduro cigar, chocolatey style cigar, you know, and you drink dark rum, coffee, black coffee. It's a complementary drink because the taste will be pretty much in one way, in one dimension. But also you can have an opposite drink, which let's say you're drinking a dark cigar, you know, and you decide.
I don't tend to drink my cigars personally.
Oh, well, I say drink dark cigar.
Okay. Come on, it's not even his first language, man.
Yeah, you were going to point it out too. I just got
Yeah,
I was trying to take the high road after the fact.
so when you smoke a dark cigar, you want to be opposite. You want to find the opposite taste. So basically, you can go for a fruity beer. Many people don't pair cigar with beer, but that's a very good, interesting discussion in probably later in the show. Why I think the beer is very interesting option to pair.
What kind of beers? What kind of beers would you say?
Not bitter ones.
Okay.
So
what are bitter beers?
Well, bitter beers. You know,
No, I mean
some ales are, some ales are very bitter. Guinness style beers are very, it's not proper beer. It's
Guinness, the Irish
ales.
stuff, right? The heavy tart.
Yeah, stout. There's some stouts which are very bitter. Some are very, now it's a fancy beers which you have taste of caramel, marshmallows and stuff like that. But basically, if you have some German beers are very, very bitter. Despite the fact, French beers are usually sweet, so they're well done. I love to pair cigar with Leffe. Leffe is a French or Belgian beer. Belgium. They're very sweetened. Yeah, Duvel is So there's a good pairing in the beers, but the pairings, as I say, they're complementary and opposite pairings. So both ways working. There is no exclusion there. There is no something you say no, never do that one or something like that. But also you need to be careful. I mentioned in the beginning, the balance is the most important thing. So neither the cigar need to be overpowering, neither the drink. Need to find the right balance. There's a lot of experiments here. So basically, the last probably 6-7 months, I try to experiment a lot with the drinks. Every time I drink different, even if I try in my life in Instagram, someone requests me and challenge me to drink, smoke a cigar with Sambuca.
The hell's Boca?
Sambuca.
Oh, I thought you said bokeh. I was like,
Sambuca, you know what is Sambuca? Basically very oily, very sweet, anisey drink. It didn't work well. It was awful.
What's it like?
It was awful. Sambuca is like, I don't know.
Aniseed syrup.
Aniseed syrup, very sweet.
Why would you drink that?
It's an alcohol. People just challenge me, say, can you try to drink that one and see if it's good?
That sounds horrible.
I'm always up for experiments. I always mention that. If you want an idea, I want to try it.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about.
I tried it and it was awful.
I'm not talking about what you did. I'm talking about the drink itself.
People drink it on shots sometimes when it's hot. I like aniseed drinks. I like Pernod, not so sweet ones. I like Ouzo. I don't like Sambuca because it's very sweet. It's basically like syrup with aniseed and slightly alcohol percentage, probably, 15-17% of alcohol, which is sweet syrup basically.
It's sticky.
Yeah, it's very sticky.
Oh, might as well just have maple syrup.
Honestly, yeah.
Probably the sugar consistency is the same as the maple syrup.
Oh. I'm drinking
that.
now.
On you because of your face, mate. This is.
That sounds horrible.
Oh, George. Apparently you might kill him, but Ray. But he loves it with Mano flavored beer.
Mano, what
that is?
I don't know what's Mano.
What's Mano?
George, do you mean you like Sambuca with beer?
You have maple syrup with beer?
Well, technically you can do the Sambuca with the beer. It can slightly not be so sweet in that way. Like the Jäger Bomb stuff. Basically, you put the Jägermeister into the Red Bull or something. You just slightly change the taste. You might do that with the Sambuca because many people like to drink it on shots.
What's Jägermeister?
Jägermeister is basically herb drink. It's one of my favorite.
Is that like
drinks.
gin?
No, it's one of a kind. There's nothing comparable. Jägermeister, Saint Germain. What was the other one? B&B, Benedictine. That's a different type of drinks, which are basically very herbal ones. There's a bunch of herbs in there. Fermented, and they have sweet licorice taste, but I like them. The Jägermeister in the summer, in the very hot weather, if it's ice cold, it's amazing drink.
Mango.
Okay.
Mango, not mano.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a couple of questions at you, which are gonna be on the very basic level. So I want you to give very simple, basic level answers to these very
I'm a simple person. Yeah.
No, but low hanging questions. So what would you suggest with, let's say, a strong Cuban cigar? I'm going to go through like a couple of questions. So if someone's smoking a relatively strong Cuban cigar,
Cuban cigars is always a lot of people. If you're talking to specific pairings, I will add that sometimes the place also help. So you can't be on the beach in Cuba smoking a Bolivar, Bellicoso, whatever strong Pategas smoking, and drinking a Scotch. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. It may be paired well, it just not feel right. What are you gonna drink on the beach? You're not gonna drink Scotch.
So it's more about the overall. There's more.
It's complexity.
Okay. There are more factors than simply this cigar goes with this drink.
It's not 100% verified pairings.
Yeah, it's not a science.
People will say probably on the comments. Someone will suggest Cuban cigar on the beach, mojito. Yes and no. If you look what's in the mojito, you have sugar, you have lime, both stuff which refresh your palate and they don't do well with the pairings. But mojito on the beach, it's amazing for cigar.
Do you know what I like? Speaking of limes. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. It's going to start singing. People are going to start singing that song.
So,
what you mean?
No, shut up.
That really hard nut.
Yeah.
And you vibrate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's suggestions. I can do a lot of suggestions. So
if we went
where we are. So if we're on the beach, I'll go for a cocktail.
Okay, but if you're enjoying the cigar in your home, which is what most people are going to be doing, not in your home, but in
like off the beach. I mean, Andre's suggesting a cold lager or a cold port.
Port is always option. Doesn't matter where you are. Port is amazing option for cigars.
Is that with like any cigar?
Almost anything.
Almost any cigar.
Yeah, port is very complimentary drink for cigars. It's not so strong.
Yeah.
Same time, it's not acidity as the wine.
Yeah.
Slightly sweet than the wine. And it's always a good pair for cigars. I never smoke a cigar and drink port, which not doing well.
Okay, that's interesting.
I love port.
So we've got like some proper answer there when it comes to like cigars. And would you say that port works with pretty much any kind of cigar? Whether it's like a strong cigar from Nicaragua to like a Quidosé.
I haven't found
prissy French
cigar
cigar
which port doesn't do well with it.
Really?
I haven't. Yeah, I have a lot of ports.
Are there any differences in terms of different kinds of ports or whatever?
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a port. There's a tawny, there's a ruby. There's a different barrel age. They age in different barrels and stuff. I'm not a port expert, by the way. I mean, I just love to drink port, especially the old ports. But I found them really nice. But yeah, if you ask me for a specific, I'll go back on the Cuban cigars. As I say, you might go well for the cocktails. Some people love it with the Scotch, bourbon, rye whiskey. It all depends. If you're at home, you might do whatever you want. You might, even if you don't like the drink, you go and change it. It's different if you're in a bar and you order expensive drink or something.
You can always change it.
There's a one,
say, I don't
one
like
cliche
this, right?
people, I mentioned expensive and I remember now. There's a one cliche that if you smoke very expensive cigar, you need to drink very expensive drink. That's a cliche. It's nonsense. It's not working like that. It doesn't mean that if you drink whiskey, which is worth like 500 pounds a bottle, and you smoke a Behique, they will be perfect. Maybe not. They might be good, well, but it's not a problem to buy a Havana Club 7 and drink Havana Club 7 with the Behique.
Mate, I just ordered a mocha.
Also, I quite like Havana Club 7.
It's one of my favorite rums, Havana Club 7.
So why are you dinking on it for? Why are you dunking on it for?
It's not. It's just a lot cheaper than a lot. It's only 20 quid.
It's decent. It's a decent rum for not bad money. Always you can go for some exclusive rums which worth like 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds. But Havana Club, a special Havana Club 7, decent rum. And it's, I'm a big fan of the drinking alcohol drinks neat. No ice, no chill stuff, no mixed with... Yeah, I like some cocktails, but not really much.
Yeah.
Also, if you go deeply into the pairings, some sommeliers and people which are more into that kind of bartending stuff, and they suggest you might try to split the cigar on the thirds, first, second, third, and drink different drinks with all the thirds.
Different drinks with all the thirds?
Yes.
So
let's say you start...
That's a very messy evening from the sounds of it.
Well, you don't need to be alcoholic. Not need to be alcoholic, not need to drink a huge amount. So let's say you get that kind of dark cigar. I'll probably, if I need to suggest something, go for some whiskey, scotch, or bourbon, maybe. Small one, 20 ml, just for the first third. Of course, if it's
I see.
If
So
it's in the morning, you're not gonna drink bourbon in 7 o'clock in the morning. Basically, it's not efficient.
Man,
But
it's
in the evening. You
Is that not allowed?
No, you're allowed, but it's not efficient. So if you have a big cigar, that opus even. So that opus,
yeah.
start with you drink whiskey, so choose a decent whiskey you like. You're more into the whiskeys than me, so start first cigar with the first third with the cigar, probably 30 minutes? About 30 minutes, 40 minutes into the cigar. Then go for a black coffee. But also you need to care about, I know you are about the coffee, so the different coffee from different regions tastes different way, different countries.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. So when you get like a
choose nice
fruity flavor.
Bitter coffee.
Bitter
Black coffee.
Really?
Don't put sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
You see the difference. If you feel that overpowering, put a little bit of sugar, but not much.
See, the problem with bitter coffee generally is because, and Alex might confirm this with me as well, bitter coffee is bitter generally because it's burnt.
No, I mean decent coffee. Some coffees are bitter because they're bitter. I read a lot about the coffee. I don't drink so much coffee
because it's generally over roasted coffee. So Italian coffee tends to be quite
over extracted.
Over extracted. Yeah, over extracted coffee, and it's just a bit.
You can get more bitter tasting coffees that are good. It's just that the ones that we drink tend to be fruitier.
Yeah, try more rich coffee. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll say I've had like really, really, really overly strong coffee. When the baristas made a bit of a mistake. And at Lane's in Leeds, I had that, and it was like well overdone. But even then, even when it was like super, whatever, it had loads of flavor. It tasted really, really good. It was rich. It was saturated, but it was like oversaturated. But it still tasted amazing while I was having that. But when you have bitter coffee, I don't know, man. It just takes me out of the vibe. Would you?
Well, I mean, don't go for coffee. Go for a chocolate. Just block of chocolate.
Would you say like dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate, 80%.
80%.
Dark chocolate in the middle part. And on the end, when the cigars start getting your saliva and start getting slightly bitter, most of the cigars, during the end, they start becoming slightly bitter.
Yeah.
Go for a sweet rum. Spiced rum.
What would you go if it's non-alcoholic?
If it's non-alcoholic, probably... Oh, that's a good question. I won't go for fizzy drinks. So... fresh juices usually are not a good idea because they are very acidity, some of them, unless it's some kind of mango tropical juice, something. But still juice, I don't know, non-alcoholic cider or something like that. Sweet cider. No apple one, something like berry, berry cider, but sweet one. It's slightly fizzy, which also will refresh your palate for next cigar if you're having another cigar after that.
They're going to hate me for this, but do you know what I like having on occasions? Pepsi Max, man. It works. Like, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, whenever I have a Pepsi Max with a cigar, about halfway through, halfway through a cigar, because at the beginning I'll have like a strong coffee. I don't normally put this much milk in. I made a mistake, but normally it's just like a splash of milk, strong coffee at the beginning of the cigar. Starts off really, really good. Midway point though, that coffee starts getting a little bit like, when you get that dry mouth from coffee, because especially when it's really strong, and Pepsi, man, Pepsi or Coke, it just kind of like.
Do you think it's not because of the cigar changing the taste?
I don't know. I think it's the coffee, because when you have like super strong coffee, it does give you a little bit of dry mouth on occasions, and I don't want that dry mouth when I'm having a cigar.
Yeah, especially if you smoke in Dominican cigar, it will become a dry because the Dominican puros are usually spicy and dry.
Yeah. So I'm normally smoking Cubans, and Cubans, they're a bit subtle in a lot of cases, so. When you've got dry mouth, it's not a good vibe. But as soon as I have a little bit of Coke or Pepsi, it just kind of clears it all up. It just kind of opens it all up again.
It's a lot of experiments. I like, as I mentioned, I like to try with different stuff. I recently go into pairings with wine, but that's something which is can be a lot of problems to pair with wines.
Have you ever tried some of the more, to use a horrible phrase, the sort of boutique or artisanal cola drinks? Like not Coke or Pepsi, but the ones that actually taste of botanicals and things like that.
I have tried. The only difference I've recently drink was, you know, the Coca-Cola makes some mixed stuff. There are 4 different mixed, which are different taste.
The obvious example is, say, Fritz Cola.
No, I haven't.
I want to try Fritz Cola then.
But there's other ones as well.
But is it like super sugary?
Doesn't have to be. No, they're less sweet generally.
They're
less
supposed
sweet.
to have probably that
Right.
grass, what is called.
In that case, we
so-
definitely need to give it. We definitely need to give.
There's other ones. Well, there's some made locally here as well. Like, I'll grab some.
Yeah, we might start buying some non-alcoholic stuff and experiment to see what they taste. I'm all up for that.
I've asked the commenters for suggestions for their favourite non-alcoholic pairings. Andre's already come back with nectar from peach or mango.
Damn, man.
Yeah, nectar is a good shout, because I'd say fresh juice is not usually the good suggestions, but nectar, where you don't have that citrus stuff, and you know, it's usually peach, apricots, and maybe some
Can you buy
berries.
that from the store?
He also says 1724 tonic. I don't know what that is.
Is that water?
No, that's tonic.
Oh,
And,
That's Schweppes tonic.
and he also says he doesn't care what you think, but milk chocolate drink.
Thank you. Do you know what?
Milk.
No.
Choco milk.
Yes, freaking yes. Oh my
No,
god.
I-
When you have a hot chocolate with a cigar, ooh,
I say in the beginning,
especially.
everything is
No, I know.
is
I get that.
objective.
Yeah, I get that. I get
I
that.
say how, you know, if you read a lot of the sommelier courses and stuff, people suggest don't do that. But I say if you like choco milk all the time,
Oh my
for
god,
choco
listen.
milk.
When you get like a good Bolivar and you have a hot chocolate with it, whoo, that's a good combination. I know you've had that. That's a good combination, isn't it?
Yeah.
That works
But-
every single draw. It's
You
magic.
do that at home.
No, I do that at Isho with you. That's why I did it.
I mean, England is usually slightly cold place.
Yeah.
You know, you're right to drink hot stuff.
No,
if
we
you're
did that
in
in
the
the
beach,
summer, right?
if you're in the beach in Cuba, are you gonna drink choco milk?
I'll drink chocolate milk on the
Nah.
beach, man. I don't care.
Maybe
I'll
frappe,
I'll-
which is milk and
Hot.
Hmm?
Doesn't have to be hot. You can have an iced. Yeah, I mean, I'll have it with a straw. Actually, no, the straw's taking it too far. But chocolate milk, ooh, that works really
You
well.
like it? Go.
Also, chocolate milk with a little bit of rum in it, says Andre.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great
I
suggestion.
could get on board with that.
So, how's your cigar, by the way? Because we haven't actually talked about the cigars.
Slightly improving the last part. It's not that acidity.
When you
I'm nearly-
when you start getting to that part, it gets a little bit stronger, and you get like a bit more flavors as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like strong cigars,
Yeah,
so I don't mind.
I didn't find that too
no
strong.
tar, which is really nice. That's mean the leaves are properly fermented and stuff. I have no information what the leaves are. In my opinion, there's a Dominican leaf in somewhere because it's
Tasted
very dry
it tasted a
mouth.
little Brazilian to me.
No, at all.
No?
No Brazilians. It's not sweet.
It was like a little chocolatey to me.
Completely waxed.
No, the Brazilian will have a lot of spiciness and sweetness.
Okay.
So that dark stuff, probably Ecuadorian Habano or something, Habano grown, which is not that sweet. It's dark as well, rich, but
Whoever loves Arturo Fuente cigars, they're gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm generally not a fan of Arturo Fuente cigars. Not that they're bad, it's just they don't work for my palate. It's a good cigar. I don't know. I mean, I'm vibing with it. I'm enjoying it, but I'm just not like on that Fuente band. You know, when everyone like going on about Arturo Fuente, Opus X. And yeah, they are popular cigars. They are extremely popular cigars, but it just doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me. I've tried a whole bunch of Fuentes, and I can see that there's, I can see why people like it. It just doesn't do it for me.
I reckon it's because you're a predominantly Cuban smoker.
I am, but I do like new ones.
I'm not. Well, I haven't smoked so many Fuentes. I try some of the lines. I've been impressed by some of them. Some of them are, it's all right, decent smoke. But I have a background as a predominantly Cuban smoker as well.
This tastes
And I
a
guess
bit.
either will be Cuban, either will be something complete different, like, you know, strong viaje or something, very, very strong, dark tatuaje, black label, that kind of stuff. Either I'm going for a Cuban if I want Connecticut.
This one tastes a bit. It's got hints of like, I don't know if it's Dominican or not, but it tastes a bit Dominican. Is it Dominican?
Supposed to be. I'm not sure the rapper. I know some of the rappers are Cameroon.
It's kind
some
of
are not.
reminiscent.
I don't know literally which opus or which Fuentes with Cameron wrapped.
Do you know what this tastes like? It tastes like a not spicy Royal Release, but with a good draw. Like the draw on this, it's not loose at all. But it's like a good. It's not tight. It's almost Cuban in terms of the draw, and that I like. Even with that crack, whatever, you know, I'm just kind of like deep throating it a little bit, just because I have to.
You know what could be good pairing for that cigar? I just coming up on my mind now. It's another type of pairing which people basically you pair with a cocktail, but in different parts you use different parts of the cocktail.
What do you mean?
What I mean, let's take Manhattan cocktail. Manhattan is very popular.
What's in a Manhattan?
Manhattan is good whiskey. Could be bourbon, rye, different versions, sweet vermouth, and sugar syrup. Slightly, just a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the Manhattan basically. So what I suggest, Alex, check what was in. I think that's in Manhattan. You know, it's very popular cocktail. I try to make myself a few times Manhattan, and yeah, I think is a
bourbon, sweet vermouth, bitters, orange.
Yeah, bitters and.
So how do you separate that?
So start with the pure bourbon, small sip of bourbon. Then on the second half, go for a full cocktail, and finish with the sweet vermouth on the end.
Interesting.
You know, sweet vermouth could be Ponticaret, could be Campari style stuff. You know, Campari Martini have that kind of vermouths. Cinzano, go for that. So
here's a question then. So do you have everything like ready on your table for you to just kind of like mix and match?
No, I mean if you're in the bar even.
Oh, I see.
Say to the guy,
let's say you're at home. You're at home because
you're home.
Most of us are home.
You have all the components for the cocktail.
Yeah.
So you make a cocktail.
Yeah.
So when you start smoking, let's say you're gonna smoke for an hour and a half. Go for a bourbon. Go for the first 10, 12 puffs with the cigar bourbon.
Yeah.
Then you go to the pretty much after first start, make the cocktail in the same time. It literally will take you 5 minutes to make it a cocktail. Make it a cocktail, nice martini glass, stuff like that. Go for a cocktail until you're drinking the cocktail. Maybe you go for to that part and just sip a small part of the vermouth with some Angostura bitters in there. You finish with that. You see completely different taste. Even the cigar develop, the taste, the drink develop. It's a whole experience, you know. If you try that kind of stuff, maybe it's not practical all the time to mix.
No. It sounds like you would do something like this when you're on that vibe where you want quite an interesting evening.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't do this when you're kind of like sat back and relaxing. Like if you want to sit back with like a relatively, good cigar.
If you're bored, you don't have nothing to do.
Yeah. I mean,
let's say I'm gonna do that cocktail. I have everything. Let's see if it's working.
But this sounds like something to do when you want to try something new, because here's what happens with me as well. I will have, let's say, a couple of boxes of cigars, and midway through you kind of get bored, right?
Because you smoke the same cigar.
Yeah.
Start smoking different cigars.
Mate,
Go into the new world.
But I don't have your selection.
But you buy a whole box. Why you buy the whole box? Buy 2 of each. Let's go. You buy a box of 10. Go buy 5 different cigars of 2 each, and then you have 5. So you try them once, you try them twice, so you have 10 different cigars.
Do you know what? Saying that, actually, no, that's a lie. I don't get bored. That's a lie.
I know only 2 people personally which smoke only 2 or 3 different cigars.
No, I will smoke a lot of different cigars, right? Because I have to review them, so I have to obviously smoke a lot of cigars. It's not just like I have to sit back. I sit back with one box and that's all I smoke. I will smoke whatever cigars I'm reviewing. I need to smoke at least 3 of them to be able to do a review on them, at least. So it's not like I'm just smoking one thing. So I keep things, like relatively different.
Yeah, but smoking a cigar for review is one thing. Enjoying the cigar is different.
Yeah, but I don't mind.
Sometimes you smoke the cigar. I know Andre is the guy there probably with all the reviews, and he makes
when you review a cigar, you do not enjoy.
But you start thinking what to write there. Yeah. You start thinking, what's that hint over there? So you make another puff.
Yeah, it's not an.
What's that? you make it
You're
perfect
right,
till
you're
you
right.
find the taste.
Yeah,
Then you're
absolutely right.
losing time to concentrate there. Oh, that's the hint, that's the taste. You look in the construction, the ash, is that white, is that perfect? It's not
No,
that
you're right.
enjoyable.
You're absolutely right. When I'm reviewing a cigar, it's not a relaxing experience. It's not like I'm sat back like, oh yeah, I'm enjoying the cigar, because I don't. The only time that I can enjoy that particular cigar is on the final third. Once I've kind of drawn my conclusions and say, okay, this is what it is, and I enjoy the final third. But you know what the final third is like? It's not always perfect. It doesn't have the same kind of values as the beginning and the middle. So that's the only time I can enjoy that cigar. So yeah, I get what you mean. But I also don't mind smoking a whole box.
I mean, I was just thinking, you're talking about having variety in your cigars, but most of us will often order the same drink.
It's not wrong. If you like some pairings, obviously you like that drink. You like it with the cigar, but yeah, I can always drink, maybe 99% of the time I can drink rum with the cigar.
Yeah.
Rum, spiced rum. I don't drink usually white rum, so spiced rum or añejo tequila, that's one of my favorite drinks for every cigar. I don't find many cigars which didn't pair well with that kind of drinks. Basically because the rum is, you have sweetness, spiciness. Even if the cigar is horrible, still the rum will overpower that cigar. If it's good cigar, then the complementary is perfect. The pairing is perfect because you have I love the taste of the rum. That melassa sweetness. I love it. But I like also some cocktails with the rum. Especially when we meet up in the town.
What do you guys get? You guys get
the coffee
plantation thing.
Plantation Room. It's a pineapple rum. Yeah, I love it for.
What's that like with a cigar?
It gives you an interesting aroma of pineapple. Pineapple. Just interesting background of the pineapple.
Pineapple's a little bit acidic. I mean, how does that work with the cigar?
It's not acidic. You don't have the acidity in the rum. You have the aroma.
It's like a feeling of pineapple.
Yeah.
With a taste of pineapple. George is asking how the Lost City is. First impressions of. Or are you smoking that? No?
So, yeah, I am.
Yeah, I thought you were.
As I was saying, earlier on, yeah, I can see why this cigar would be really popular, because it does, it is a nice tasting cigar. It just doesn't appeal to my palate. Just doesn't particularly appeal. But I will say, now that I'm getting into like the halfway section, it is getting a bit more interesting.
Do you reckon if you change the pairing, that will complement the cigar?
Possibly.
So you're drinking a coffee, something like coffee.
I don't know. Do you know what I think would work with this?
You didn't go well. Obviously, something is wrong because you don't.
I'll tell you what would work well with this. Some dark chocolate would work really well with this. And
why the dark chocolate? You think?
Because when you have really good dark chocolate, it doesn't taste bitter. It has like a strength to it, right? And that strength, I think, would kind of complement this quite nicely. Because there's that certain flavor.
The cigar, I mentioned in the beginning,
there's
a complementary pairing and opposite pairing. How the chocolate will do on that cigar.
I think it's like an opposite pairing.
Because the cigar is quite smooth. Smooth, creamy, and you have the sharpness on the chocolate with that specific cocoa taste, and which basically make the thing sharp. So this is very.
Do you know what? It reminds me of a Davidoff cigar. Like the flavor profile in this one is very reminiscent of Davidoff cigars, and maybe that's wrong for me to say, but I don't smoke a lot of Arturo Fuentes, mostly because I've never been a huge fan of Fuente. I find that the cigars are great. They're really well made. They're obviously high quality stuff. It's not like I think they're bad at all in any way, shape or form. I don't think I could ever say anything bad about a Fuente cigar, but it just doesn't appeal to me, if you know what I mean. So when I'm trying to like put this in a category or put this in kind of like a box or whatever, it reminds me of some Davidoff cigars, except the draw on this is much better. Davidoff cigars generally far too loose on the draw, and not a fan of that. But Fuente, they tend to have a much better draw. They've got a bit of resistance to it.
Oh, it's it's one of the, I don't know what to say, the best cigars in the world. The Fuente, Padrones are usually from the non-Cuban cigars. They're over there.
Wait, actually, it's getting a lot more interesting now. I'm getting more of a sharper flavor now. This is getting interesting as I'm coming to the halfway point.
So you have a proper transition.
There's a proper transition there. It's not a harsh cut like a Davidoff. It's more like it's kind of fading in. I can feel it coming into the second stage. I'm getting more like a citrusy kind of flavor, and it is quite nice. Now it's getting better. It's getting a lot better now.
So this is sort of leading in. Andre asked a question. You know, with cigar generally, you only get one cigar, one impression, no time to change your mind. Why do you have three for your reviews?
Why do I have 3? Mostly because I don't know. There's no. It's completely arbitrary. It's got nothing to do with any rules or anything like that. It's not like I'm saying that this is the best way to review cigars, because reviews are completely subjective. They have absolutely no scientific method, if we're being honest about it, and it is literally that. For me, the reason why I have 3 cigars is mostly because I kind of prefer to build my opinion on a cigar a little bit more than just using one. Because sometimes what happens is when you have one cigar, you can have a dud, especially when it comes to Cubans.
Is it not because you know the brand of the cigar?
What do you mean?
So if you smoke 3 cigars, but
Yeah.
you know what cigar is it? If it's blind taste,
Yeah.
you don't have any influence by the brand.
Oh yeah, of course. No, I
So
completely get that. I
you
completely get that.
smoke completely blind taste. I know where probably Andre coming from, because Andre do a lot of blind tasting and
Yeah.
reviewing for the cigar
Absolutely.
genre.
It makes complete sense. Makes
So,
complete sense.
Yeah, if you don't have any, because if you know the cigar now, you know you're smoking Fuente, you expect something from that Fuente,
Yeah.
you know. The same way with the Kraken over there. So you know the Kraken,
Can I just show
and
that Kraken?
you know the Kraken, you think,
Can I just show this?
that will be awful, even before you smoke it. You know that will be not as tasty as the Fuente.
Listen, man.
Because
Look,
you know the brand.
if you blind taste this, you know what you've got in your mouth.
No, there's a...
Okay? don't come up with this blind taste nonsense on a Kraken. Look at this. Look at this. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. What?
Put it next to your head.
I don't want to.
Put it next to the Fuente, people, to realize how big is it.
Here's an entire cigar. There you go.
I don't want to show that cigar. Why? What's the company? I don't even know what company made this. What is it?
I think it's
Lunaticos.
some Nicaraguan company which
Condega.
Lunaticos.
Oh yeah, Condega. Yeah, actually.
I'm
Is
gonna
it?
pretend I knew that without
Yeah.
Andre's comment.
Condega.
But he said Lunaticos.
That's the name on the specific Vitola, Lunatic
Oh.
8x80.
Lunatic Vitola.
No, it's
Didn't
not
I-
the official
didn't I
name
tell
for the Vitola, just that cigar is called Lunaticus.
Didn't
Kraken
I
Lunaticus.
tell you that? This is a novelty cigar. This is what you get in joke shops. You know when you're 8 years old and you walk in and there's a cigar? That's what this is.
Yeah, Andre, did you smoke Kraken? Did you try them? I want.
It's horrible. It's the worst thing I've ever made.
Oh wait. Going back to what Andre said about blind tasting. The thing is, I don't do blind taste, so it's not something that. So on that basis, I don't necessarily need to just build my opinions on one cigar. But I get why, you know, I'm gonna say more professional reviewers.
Well,
Because-
I reckon people would smoking more than 1 or 2 cigars for reviewing. There's a lot of company doing that, a lot of bloggers, reviewers. I reckon they do it because
We've
if
got
you smoke
time.
one, it might be completely plucked. It might have bud leaf in there and stuff. If you smoke 3 and you take the you know the scores from all the 3, put like the middle score and stuff like that, and maybe you get more objective opinion
Yeah.
instead of smoking, you know. But to smoke 3 or 4 cigars, that's a lot of time consuming.
Yeah, but
So,
I've got the time.
Let's say
If
if you
you're
want to...
writing for a magazine like Cigar Journal, or if you're doing something on that, you don't necessarily have the benefit of time. You know, if you're doing a blind test, how are you gonna blind test? How are you gonna blind test the same cigar 3 times? Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit trickier.
Blind taste, yeah. I mean,
So
when you're smoking, you know, proper reviewing cigar, that's, I don't know, in my opinion, it's in one way it's right to do it. In ways that you might find the imperfections in one of the cigars and stuff, and basically if all 3 bad ones, maybe the whole cigar is wrong. But it's, as I say, imagine you need to review, I don't know, 100 cigars a year. By 3, that's 300 cigars you need to smoke.
Precisely. So I get why professional reviewers or people who write for magazines and so on, they don't necessarily have the time. It's just not a luxury that they have. So I completely respect that. And I'm doing it for our YouTube channel. I've got the time. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the cigars that I'm reviewing, I've already smoked a whole bunch of them anyway. because they're mostly Cubans, and what do I normally smoke? Cuban cigars. So I've got that time and the luxury to be able to kind of go through and, you know, take my time with each particular review. But I don't think that I don't think my way is like the correct way of doing it, because that would be preposterous. It's, like I said, it's not an exact science. It's just, this is how I do it, and I completely respect how other people would do as well. So I wouldn't say that my way is correct by any means at all, not even close.
So, slight tangent, just because Lawrence Gill asked this question a little bit ago, and it's interesting.
Hello, Lawrence.
It wasn't a good place to put it, so I'm just going to interrupt you. When you were saying about, you know, trying lots of different cigars, he was asking what the best way is to have a variety of cigars to smoke without having to, you know, buy tons of boxes or
singles.
Buy samplers. Let's say someone's selling a sampler of 10 different cigars. Buy them, smoke them. You know, depend how often you smoke. You know, if you smoke every day, smoke them in 10 days, and see which one you like. Then go buy 2 of them. You know, I usually buy 2 of every cigar. I very rarely buy a box unless it's some old Cubans or something like.
Ray says that, and then he showed us his collection. How many boxes do you have again?
No, boxes are not much.
Okay.
A lot of singles, you know. Let's say it that way. I have, I don't know, 3,500 cigars, and I have 900 different types of cigars. So how many boxes do I have?
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
So but
you do have a fair number of boxes.
I have, but some of them I have like 5 boxes from the same cigar and stuff like that, you know. But I don't go for a box unless it's a old Cuban or old New World stuff, which I want just because it's a old stuff and aged. And if you go for a new brands, new cigars, new labels, go pick a samplers. There's every single shop around the world, I'm pretty sure, selling that kind of samplers. Doesn't matter which shop you go. There's a selections with, let's say, Robusto selection, Toro selection, Maduro selection, Dominican selection, Nicaraguan, all kind of stuff. You can buy 5s, 10s, 15s, 20. Even if you brave, you might go for a 50 cigar sampler. You know, I buy 60 cigar sampler a few times, 60 different cigars. So basically, go in the shop and say, I want from all that cigars, 1 of each to try them. So
I've bought samplers before.
Sampler is the best way to try different cigars.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing all the time. Very rarely buy a box. If I smoke a cigar and I'm really impressed with it, I'll probably get 5 or 10 count. You know, if it's a box of 10, I'll get a box of 10. But if they sell it in a box of 20, 25, I won't go for a 25. I won't smoke them in 10, 15 years. And there will be different cigars in 10 years.
And perhaps a simpler way, as Andre suggests, and it's something I often do with food and drink sometimes, if you go to a shop, just always buy something new.
Exactly, yeah. Buy new stuff. Don't smoke same stuff. If you want to try, buy new stuff.
If you buy a box, buy a single or buy a couple of singles.
Every shop you go in and say, I want, I don't know, let's say choose, even by the look on the cigars, you like Tatuaje. Go in every shop which have decent selection of Nicaraguan cigars. There will be at least 50 different tatuajes there. Go there and say, I want that 1 of each line. You know, there's a brown line, a red line, black line. There's a PG Monsters. There's a Monsters. There's a Anarchy. All kind of stuff. So let's say I want that. I want Havana. So that's another 10 tatuajes. Take them all. Try them.
Well, can I just quickly put in a quick plug to our sponsor as well, which is very, very... which works very well with this, because Monte Fortuna have like a whole bunch of samplers as well. They've got some mystery samples and so on as well. They've got New World and Cuban samplers, so you could effectively just do that as a way of expanding the way that you purchase cigars. You don't necessarily need to buy boxes from them, which I think is a good thing, because sometimes you don't, like you said, you don't want to buy a 25 box.
Go for a Cigar of the Month subscriptions. There's almost every decent company makes subscriptions now. So they send you 5 cigars, which you have no idea what they sent. You know, they send you 5 cigars and say that's the box of the month, or 10, you know, or 20. I'm a few subscriptions like that.
Monte Fortuna have exactly that. What they've got is you can do like a subscription where you are. I think they've got a subscription. Am I wrong in thinking that? Yeah. I know they've got mystery cigar samplers. I know that. So yeah, just a quick word from our sponsor again. You know, Monte Fortuna Cigars. They've got a whole bunch of samplers available as well that you can purchase. They've got mystery samplers, so you don't necessarily know what you're getting every single time. And they've got loads of huge selection of New World and Cubans. So you don't necessarily need to have the same cigar every single time. You can pick things, you can choose things. You can buy singles, you can buy fivers. One of the things that they do, which is brilliant, which I think you guys should always watch out for, is generally on a Friday, they will have something which is like a fiver deal, where if you buy 5 cigars, they'll throw in an extra one. So if you buy 10 cigars, you basically got 12, which I think is a great way to kind of keep things a little bit, different and exciting, but also you're not spending a ridiculous amount. So that's what I think. I think the samplers from Monte Fortuna are great. Check out the link below. Monte Fortuna Cigars, sponsor for this video. Huge thank you for supporting our live streams. So yeah, samplers. I think that's one thing. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And
but
back come with alcohol sometimes.
Some of them do come with some drinks.
Like what I'm drinking today.
What are you drinking?
It's one of the little sample ones.
Oh yeah, it came with the yeah. So yeah, we've got like alcoholic drinks. I mean, coffee though. Coffee is a classic drink that a lot of people tend to have with their cigars.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, I know you're not a huge fan of coffee.
Usually, when I drink coffee, if I'm chilling out and stuff, I usually drink coffee with. I put like in a big cup, finger of milk, froth it, make it like foam, and then put a coffee, double espresso shot in that one. So it's
like a flat white, right?
It's a relatively strong.
Yeah.
I don't put many sugar, so usually I don't put sugar. Depends on if I smoke very strong cigar, I put a very small piece of cane sugar, just half a spoon or something like that, and that is it. But sometimes when I want to try the full taste of the pairing, I go for a short espresso coffee, no sugar, nothing. I know it's sometimes rough to drink that kind, and not many people like to drink espresso without sugar or
Same
milk.
here.
But sometimes the taste just it's complementary very well for the cigar. But you need to try. If you can't drink espresso coffee without sugar and milk, don't do it. You don't want to puke after the first few.
No, I mean, I guess the whole idea of what to pair with your cigar is, first of all, just understand what you like. That's the key
understand
thing.
What are the drinks actually.
Yeah. So, I guess the key thing is, the first question that I would ask myself, or that I would get you to ask is, what drinks do you actually like? And then from those drinks, work out what you want to pair. And you kind of have an understanding of, if you know what a particular cigar is going to taste like, then you can have, as Ray said, you have opposites or you have complementary, and then that's how you kind of pair them together. And going back to this cigar, how I said that a dark chocolate would work? Yeah, it's changed again, and now it's working really well with the coffee, like really well with the coffee. I'm getting a really nice zesty, I don't know how this is working, but it's getting like a zesty baked goods type flavor.
I have
it's a weird combination, but it's working.
I have a slight experiment prepared to do.
Go on.
Which maybe work for some people, maybe not. I tried many times and I found it work. So I will try to explain and show how you can taste some alcoholic drinks properly without burning your tongue, mouth, and stuff like that. Because alcohol drinks usually are over 35% alcohol. The proper alcohol drinks, the liquors and the sweet mixing stuff, vermouths and stuff. So when you drink that kind of alcohol, a lot of people using different techniques, sommeliers different one way, some people in the bars different ways, they make a sip and stuff. There's a technique called kissing methodology.
Explain.
I will show it. You need to be shown. That's why I have a small glass with a small cup with rum.
Okay.
So so basically
I'm glad no one heard you there.
I'll try to explain it simple as possible.
Yeah.
It's just a very simple thing, but when you smoke cigars, you know the taste, your tasting buds and stuff like that. I will explain.
Actually, do you know what? No. Before you get into the drinks, I want you to explain how you can taste cigars properly. and then we'll move on to the drinks. Because that is actually a really interesting point that you made, and something that really, really works. And I do that.
Did we not talk about that?
No, I want you to really get into this. And this is something that I do as well now. And it really, really works. I thought, like sometimes when someone makes a suggestion, you're like, yeah, I'll try it. It's probably not going to do it. And then but I tried this and it worked. It genuinely worked. So go on. I'd like you to explain that.
If you, I don't know what you're talking about, but let's see if I try to guess. So if you're a new one, especially if you're a relatively new smoker, you don't know your palate, you don't know, some people say that cigar have a earthiness, mushrooms, I don't know, spiciness, cinnamon, cocoa, and you're a new smoker and you don't find that taste, basically. Not everyone can find it in the beginning.
Yeah.
There's the best way to smoke is, let's imagine your tongue is divided on 4 different zones, basically how your taste buds are. So you have the sweetness on the front of the tongue, whatever. Anyway, people understand me what I'm talking about.
They know.
You have the bitterness. The actually sweet is the front, salt is next. You have the acidity and the bitterness at the back.
I'm gonna comment on that later, but yeah, please carry on.
So make a puff of the cigar. You can close your eyes. I like to describe it. Close your eyes and try to see where your tongue is more affected by the smoke. Which part of the tongue you feel it mostly? Do you feel it on the front as a sweet? Do you feel it slightly after that as a salty or acidity, or further at the back as a bitterness? And let's say I'm going to use a 10-point scoring for that. If you have sweetness, how much points you give for the sweetness on the front, between 1 and 10. How much you give for the next one, for the third, and then for the last part. Then you find out which one is your stronger one. So let's say that cigar is a bitter aftertaste. So next puffs, you don't think about the sweetness, nothing. Start thinking about that last part of the tongue, the bitterness and the only that taste. And start thinking, what taste is that? Because it could be almonds, nuts, some that you can't feel like strawberries on the last part of the tongue. Strawberries are sweet, maybe some acidity and stuff like that. And then try to find the flavor. So when you exhale, the best way I found it usually, when you exhale the smoke, try to inhale it with the nose. So exhale and make that one. Exhale and then you find another taste. More deep taste, secondary taste. So did you do that one? And
Alex has just tried it, by the way.
It's a different taste. I can guarantee that it's not the same as your mouth.
What was that? No. What was that other technique you also mentioned? Where
I'll show you that. Yeah,
yes,
I'll show that.
That's the one.
So
that's the one.
Yeah. So just asked about this as well, pretty much.
By the way, I got a question from someone specifically. I'll answer that.
Penelope was asking what your favourite cocktail is.
I'll answer that in a moment.
So and after that one, you can actually think about the whole taste, the whole experience, and all the different components you find. So you try to find. I always say, in every puff, every time you go in some of the areas of your mouth, try to find at least 2 or 3 different tastes. To describe at least 2 or 3 different tastes and aromas.
Yeah. So
that's how you can try to train your palate. But also, you before you start training your palate, you need to know how the cinnamon tastes, how the cinnamon smell. Basically what I'm doing, going in a grocery store and open all the jars and smell them.
So that's why you keep getting kicked out of stores.
Well, you can buy a whole kit. You can buy a whole kit with about 25-30 jars just made for that purpose to train your palate. But it's an expensive kit, so cheapest way even if you buy a jar of all the spaces, still will be cheaper than that whole kit of 25 jars, which is most for tobacco tasting and stuff.
Yeah.
And but the technique you want to talk about, I'll explain if you want to answer on your question.
Andre's there before you, but go for it.
Oh, so wait, I've got so that question about what was man's favorite cocktail to have with a cigar. I've never had a cocktail. I've never had a cocktail. I don't know. there might be some cocktail out there which is perfectly, designed specifically for me or whatever. But I've never had a cocktail before.
We'll change that.
What's Andres asking?
Look at the bad influence I've got around me.
You got ahead of you with the technique, but you described it on video. He's already written it down.
So he have it on the.
Andre did. Hold on.
Is it? Am I right with what I'm saying?
Well, what are you going to say about swishing it around your mouth?
All right, yeah.
Yes, Andre beating us to the punch. Well done.
Andre is our backup guy.
He is, yes.
So yeah, Andre, thanks for that, mate.
I appreciate it. We actually do appreciate it.
So the technique Usman talking about, it's basically I learned it from a guy which worked for Altadis, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's called Travis Pappenheim. Maybe the name is wrong. I'm not mistaken. Basically, the guy is head of the team which tests all the new cigars before they go to the market. So he have like bunch of cigars, blends, and the rollers say that's a good blend, that's supposed to be alright. So he tastes them with his team, and he decides if that cigar is decent and can go through for selling. And he don't. So
this is the actual. Are we talking about the blenders of the tobacco? Or are we talking about?
He's not a blender.
Okay,
he's
so who are these people?
He's a taster. He's a part of the.
I've had a cocktail.
Have I?
You had an espresso martini.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
You have. Lawrence just told me about it, and I remember you've had one.
Espresso martini is a good cocktail.
You've had one.
I've never had
if
an
it's not very
martini.
sweet.
Maybe you were too drunk. You have.
You
I've
have next
never
time.
had an
You have
espresso
next
martini.
time. Yeah, when we go. To
No, I know for a fact I've never had an espresso martini. I know who has had an espresso martini. It's the guy who sat next to me, but I'm not going to name him. But I know for a fact I've never had an espresso martini.
So
And I've never been drunk. Stop lying.
get back on that.
Thank you for putting me on top there.
Basically, the guy is head of a tasting team in Altadis. It's a big company tasting a lot of cigars. He say I don't smoke whole cigars. I smoke very small part of the cigar because I need to taste like 30 cigars on a session. You can't smoke 30 cigars in an hour.
So how do they taste the tobacco leaves then?
He don't taste the tobacco leaves. He tastes the whole cigar constructed. There's a blenders which taste different leaves. They use different.
Right, I see.
But that is guy which basically he have the ready product.
So
Before being labeled, before being branded, he just have X amount of blends, and he says smoking with your team. That's his responsibility.
So let me get this straight. Let me just get this right in my head. This person has a magical job of just sitting and getting paid to smoke cigars.
It's not only him.
No. Just
basically, well.
So he sits back.
I reckon.
And he smokes cigars and he gets paid for
I
it.
reckon he have a very decent palate. He might be involved in a blending in some point. I don't know is it been part of the blending team in that company, but basically he's working in a big corporation. It's probably the biggest corporation in the cigar world.
What do you need?
And his job is one of his jobs. Let's say that way. Maybe he's doing only that one. Maybe I have no idea. I don't know the guy personally. I've been on a few Zoom calls with him, a few sessions where he explained it. He have a list with which check all the cigars about the quality, burning issues, bitterness, and that kind of stuff. And he explained that techniques, which I found really helpful. I show it to you. You want me to show it out to the people. So basically, what he doing? Because a lot of people will say retrohaling, it's a good idea. It's not bad, but in some point, if you retrohale all the time, your nose buds can be damaged. Not in a long term, but it's not gonna feel the same thing if you always retrohaling because it's not a pleasant thing.
I love retrohaling, man.
Every puff.
Yeah.
That's why you don't like the Fuente.
No. This is tasting a lot nicer now. It's tasting a heck of a lot nicer. But whenever I retrohale, I get...
It's not bad. Personally, I retrohale 5 times on the cigar. That's it.
Really? When I retrohale, I get like a massive...
I prefer the taste in my mouth.
So this is how I do. I'll smoke this... Obviously, I smoke this, but I'll take the smoke into my mouth. This sounds wrong. I'll take the smoke into my mouth. I'll swirl it around. But then I will retrohale as a finishing touch. Just like a slight amount. And the retrohale just kind of takes all of those flavors that I was experiencing in my mouth way higher.
So, back on the technique.
Yeah.
Basically, take a big puff from the cigar. Keep it in your mouth. You're going to show it because I didn't lit my cigar. I'm going to lit it later.
No, I want you to light yours now. So, can you just...
But first, I'm going to do the experiment with the rum.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah.
Okay.
So, take a big puff of the cigar. Keep it in your mouth. And try to jiggle in between your mouth, between your tooths, between your lips, and don't exhale it. Do that for 20-30 seconds, maybe more if you can.
So I'm not gonna do it for 20-30 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
so
quickly
after that, slowly, very slowly puff out the smoke. And when you puff everything out, you start with your tongue, start jubbling around your mouth to find the taste in your mouth. So you can show how it's supposed to be that one. I show you the techniques. And
basically all I'm doing is I'm just pushing the band back a little bit because there's that cut, that break in the cigar is opening up a little bit. This is why you don't take the bands off at the beginning of the cigar, because if you get like a little crack or something, which can happen as you light cigars, you can use the band as a bit of a band-aid, as a literal band-aid in essence. And now it should be okay. But what Ray was basically saying is, you take the draw, and I'm not going to be able to talk while I'm doing this.
So talking through it, Ray. Talking through it again.
So yeah,
take
you talk me through it. So I'm going to take a draw.
Yeah, take the draw, keep it in your mouth, and start moving around now. Literally how you're doing with the water in your mouth, all the way in your mouth. Don't exhale, don't go in the nose, just keep it there, all the way in your mouth. And you start exhaling now very slowly, not like that. You need to very, very slowly, don't go in your nose. You do a retrohale again. So
it tastes so much better with the retrohale added in.
Okay, but yeah, exhale it very slowly, and then you go around your mouth and you can say.
See, the mistake I made was I took too big of a draw, so my mouth was like frog face there the whole way through. Let me take a little one.
Yeah, and start exhaling very, very slow, very, very small amount. Open just a little bit of your mouth. Yeah, I'll show it later when I lit my cigar. Usman is a...
Shut up, man.
Yeah.
I was enjoying that. But no, you're right. When I did that, I was getting way more flavors without having to retrohale. So if you don't like retrohaling, then this is a fantastic way of getting a heck of a lot more flavor in your smoke. Because I was picking up all those flavors that I was getting through my nose, like the cracker notes, those graham crackery kind of notes. There was like a little bit of fiery in there, fiery kind of flavors, like a zesty type flavor. All of those were in my mouth as opposed to just getting it only on the retrohale. Admittedly, the retrohale is just like a lazy way of doing it. It's just a quick, easy way of being able to get loads of flavor very, very quickly. But as Ray mentioned, if you keep retrohaling, it can numb the senses a little bit, especially because, you know, a lot of the aromas in the air, you're not going to be able to pick up on it if you're retrohaling quite a lot.
So I'm going to try now. I lit my cigar. I'm smoking the last coal by AJ Fernandez. It's a decent smoke.
No, Andre, we're not going to do the Kraken notes.
So yeah,
I thought you said Kraken notes as well.
You can talk now.
Oh, did I say Kraken notes?
You can talk now instead of me.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking. Right, so Ray. So Ray's taking a draw now. In fact, put the camera... Yeah, it's still pointed at him. Okay, so there you go. Okay, I get it.
Well, it's professional mouth.
Professional mouth movement. Look at his mustache go.
I can zoom in.
Okay, I see. So I was taking little puffs out. You were giving me a hard time for taking too much out in one go.
So I found nutmeg, nuts, almonds, slightly core of the wood, that kind of woodiness, and yeah, it's a simple technique. More and more exercising in that technique, you can find more and more tastes.
What cigar is that? Just tell everyone what cigar
that is.
Like a chipmunk.
That is wait to see the experiment with the rum. Yeah, wait to see the experiment with the rum, because there's a lot of that kind of stuff in there. So that is the last call by AJ Fernandez in a short Robusto, I believe is the size. It was a close foot, relatively strong cigar for AJ, I believe. Yeah.
By the way, I should quickly mention, when you're doing these tastings, you probably don't want to do it in public or with people. You know, this is something that you do in your house.
Let's show
by yourself.
Yeah.
When you're wearing your underwear or whatever the hell you're doing. You know, yeah, your thongs, as Alex says. You know, just keep it in the house, keep it in your little shed that you've got or whatever. Don't do it in public. You're gonna get the wrong kind of attention. So, especially when you got something phallic in your mouth.
What about cold drawing, by the way? People were asking about cold drawing.
Cold draw. I sometimes do a cold draw. I'm not massive fan of it because basically most of the time you find pretty much same taste. That's what I found. Raisins, that kind of sweet fruits sometimes, and woodiness.
Do you know what? Yes, precise. This is why I've never done a cold draw on any of the reviews. I always light before I cut, right? And then some people were asking me, well, how come I don't do cold draw? I mean, I don't mind the question. I just thought
it's not
because it
something
doesn't do
which brings
anything.
something to the cigar.
Yeah,
When you
it
do
does
the cigar,
nothing
it's
for
different
me.
taste.
Does absolutely nothing for me at all. You know, you can get all of that just by putting the cigar under your nose.
Yeah, or wear a mask if you're doing that.
That is a great one, yeah. Okay. How to taste the alcohol.
Kiss the rum. Go on. Do that weird thing that you do.
First of all, the cigar, I start talking about how you're supposed to taste the cigar and stuff. So, but basically, there's another way actually to find some smell on the cigar without putting it in your mouth. When you leave your cigar on your stand and smell your hands, they smell.
Don't smell your hands in public. I'm just saying.
So
especially not your
basically,
fingers.
the skin is an organ. You know, basically, the tobacco is in your hair, is in your face, is in your, if you have a beard or stuff. The tobacco smell is there.
Yeah.
So you also your skin feeling that, and what are you doing with the rum? So a lot of people, you know, you've seen they make that kind of stuff smelling. You smell the alcohol. Basically, you've got 40% of pure alcohol in there. Most smelly thing is the alcohol as well. You might find some smell of vanilla or something, but some of the whiskeys and stuff, they smell on pure alcohol. So I won't recommend always doing that one, smelling. You know, it's you can't find all the taste in the smelling. So what I'm suggest doing it, put a small amount in your hand.
No one can see that.
So I've got rum in my hand.
Lift it up a bit.
Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up to, yeah, there you go.
Like you're washing your hand with rum.
Oh, yeah.
I want to try this, but I'm operating computer equipment, so
You better,
So-
keep your hands dry.
You evaporate the alcohol now. There's two phases. So that's the phase one. Basically, you like literally clean your hands with the alcohol.
Yeah.
I have no idea what rum is that. I didn't ask Alex because
What
I
was
won't surprise me. Don't tell me yet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I want to find if I can find the taste notes and stuff on that rum. So basically, your hands
I
need
can
to be
smell
dry.
it from here.
Your hands need to be dry, pure dry. So doing that one, I put slightly more than what you usually supposed to do. But so when your hands are dry, so yeah, they're dry now. What you're doing is basically grab the air and put it in your mouth. Citrus, and there's some vanilla. So you start feeling the first phase. Yeah, I know it's look funny. You start laughing. I know. It's the next
I'm
phase.
sorry, man. I
Next
couldn't
phase
hold
is
it
more
in.
fun. So you can also your hand skin here have different pH than here.
Okay, yeah.
So you can do that one then. Basically, you can find more deep taste in that. So I get more and more vanilla kind of stuff, melassa. Still don't know what more specific taste. So that's the first phase. You know, the first thing you need to do. Use your hands and find the taste. So the next one is the most funny looking one.
Oh, it gets funnier.
Wait, what?
It gets funnier than this. Okay.
What I'm gonna do,
Guys, hold
I'm
on.
gonna use the kissing techniques. That is not invented by me or anything. It's proper sommelier techniques to taste an alcohol.
Okay.
So you take a small sip of the alcohol in your mouth, keep it between your front teeth and the lips. Don't go further. And start moving the alcohol around until you can't feel your lips. Because that's where the alcohol going, in the lips.
Okay.
When you don't feel the lips, when they are anesthetic, then put the alcohol in your mouth, and you'll find the pure taste of the alcohol without any alcohol. The pure taste of the drink without any taste of the alcohol.
Interesting. Okay, do it. Everyone watching? Mouthwash. I can just imagine his teeth feeling pain. Alex is mumbling at the moment. I'm the only one who's not looking very silly at the moment. Let me see if I can do that with coffee.
I couldn't do it for long enough. Lawrence,
Are you guys watching this?
Lawrence was saying, imagine being in the pub and seeing someone do it.
I want to see you do this with some Guinness.
So there's a cinnamon. So I'm doing that with air because you got the air.
Yeah,
which,
this is very similar to like coffee tasting.
So
Coffee
now you have the alcohol in my lips, which basically, and when you do that one, you already have the percentage in the alcohol you put in your throat. It's probably not more than 5%, which is basically like sweet drink now. Or if it's a gin, might be something like botanical stuff, herbs. You can feel them, and basically get some air as well. That will refresh the whole taste, and yeah, that's the technique. You can try to experiment. This works. Let's finish it because your lips pretty much don't feel anything now. The best way to refresh that, smoke the cigar. I'm not joking.
Okay. So this is actually very similar to coffee tasting. When people, when I was working with this coffee company, one of the ways that they taste is they'll have the coffee without any milk or anything like that, without any sugar, nothing like that. It's just pure coffee that they brewed, or is it extracted? And you essentially you don't even swallow it. You literally just, and this is going to sound horrible on the microphone.
Yeah, you puke it back. Yeah.
So this is going to sound horrible, and I apologize in advance.
Well,
I'm not going
to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spit it back because this is my coffee and I don't want to spit in my own cup. But essentially, what you do is, and the more air you get in with every sip, the more flavors you can pick up. So this coffee I've been drinking for like the last hour and a half. This is cold as hell now, but the whole way through I wasn't getting, I was getting flavors obviously, but this one sip that I've taken has had more flavor than all of the other flavors that I've had, all of the other sips that I've had so far. So it makes a huge difference. You really, really can taste a heck of a lot more in your drinks, in your cigars, and everything, and it makes a big difference. I think you absolutely can enjoy things more, but this is definitely not something you want to do in public.
No, it's just pure tasting of the taste. You know, you're not doing that with drinking your favorite whiskey or brandy. You're not doing that all the time.
You don't do this when you're out.
It's just, because when you get the big spirit, the big percentage spirit alcohol in your throat, your muscles react, and just basically, that spiciness in your mouth, in your throat, just basically, your muscles just reacting on that one. And you don't have the whole taste because your body try to absorb that in your stomach. So yeah,
it makes a big difference the way that you kind of think. So we've gone from like pairings to.
But this is good. It's well. Why would you do this if you were trying to pair your cigar with something?
Well, effectively, because you can taste a heck of a lot more, right? Each draw that you take with your cigar, you're getting a lot more flavor out of it. And you're going to be able to get a better understanding of what the flavors are of that particular cigar.
Yeah, that's the best thing. To understand the flavors. If you say you buy a brand new bottle of alcohol, even a small, 5 ml tasting, you don't know what's that taste. You want to find how that is different than the other one or something. So try doing that one in your mouth, first sip, to find out the taste about in the alcohol and everything. And then you know more about that. And next time when you go into the shop and say, oh, I have a rum X, that name of rum. Oh, I know it tastes slightly vanillic, slightly orangey on the end, tangy, because I try it on a small sip. I know how it tastes. It might be good pairing for L'Aranya Oscuro, which is a basically orange type cigar, smell an orange when you smoke it. It's not infused, but it's very orangey, tangy cigar.
Why is it orangey and tangy?
Because they use specific tobacco from Brazil.
From Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazilian tobacco is very distinct.
Yeah. And that L'Aranya is one of the best cigars I smoke. I love it. I don't like sweet cigars. It's not sweet by any means, but it's very specific.
It's like a natural sweet. It's not that fake sweetness that you get from infused cigars. Because there's a distinct difference. When you smoke a cigar and you get coffee flavors, you don't get like a fake coffee flavor. You get like a real organic type of hit of coffee. And you know, that Brazilian tobacco tends to have that as well. It's very organic in terms of how it tastes, but it has a sweetness to it, but it doesn't feel weird. It's almost like a fruit sugary kind of vibe, as opposed to that fake sugary flavor, that infused sugar flavor. Oh, infused cigars.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Oh, horrible.
Do you, Alex? Do you find the difference in the rum now when you try it like that? It's different taste in your mouth. You're not gonna think that all the time like that, but just to have the impression. And yeah, now your mouth is alright. After a few puffs on the cigar, your mouth is back to the point where you can taste new stuff.
Mohammed's called us creepy.
Who?
Called Ray creepy.
Oh, you call Ray creepy? Thank you.
It's a weird stuff. Yeah, I you know, you want me to show them? I show them. I learned them in some point.
This is great information.
It's not something as someone mentioned. You're not going to the pub or to the bar and start drinking on the sips and say, I want that 10 whiskeys in a small sips. I want to try them. You're not doing that. But that's the way how if you go to the bar and the barman say, I've got that in that room, and you say, okay, I drink that one. I know how that tastes. Because I already have the techniques on my in my house when nobody see me how I'm doing the beaver stuff.
Can I just answer one more question?
Go on.
Someone asked, what is the best cigar? This one, baby.
I don't know.
What is that? Okay. What was the question?
This is what is the best cigar? If you want the best cigar, this one right here, baby. Ooh, look at it. It's been emasculating men from all around the world. Holy crap. Either that or Gurkha. That's my one for the video.
Yeah, if you didn't pick that up, that's sarcasm.
Ray, would you do a taste test of the Gurkha like that?
Yeah, I can taste everything which I haven't tried, man.
It's just going to be like bitter and tar.
I don't remember Gurkha to have tar usually.
No, I wouldn't say tar. It was just...
So they have the nicotine kick, some of them.
They do,
some of them I smoke, but...
Have you smoked the Nicaraguan one?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Are we doing that in a video? Are you doing that by yourself?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to smoke tomorrow. I don't have planned the cigar smoke tomorrow, after tomorrow day. I just go and pick from the box. So, yeah.
Same here. I mean, the only reason... I was going to smoke a Romeo and Julieta, but then Georgie, you mentioned that Georgie wanted us to smoke one of the ones that he sent. That Fundadores, though, I'm looking forward to that one. Looking forward to that one a lot.
How is the chat? Any interesting question?
No, Andre mentioned, this is some of the techniques that you can use with wine and tea. And tea, yeah, same. You taste tea in the same way that you taste coffee. You would brew it you'd brew it relatively strong, not too strong, because you don't want it to become tart or
everything you taste is with your mouth. That's your way to taste the stuff. So you're doing all kind of weird stuff with your mouth to taste them. It's you don't taste with your stomach. Taste with with your hands. You can feel stuff. You can smell, but it's not the same if you put it in your mouth and properly taste it. The aromas, the different specifics even in the tea. There's a different. I found companies which make like. Small batch teas, basically from the same plant. The whole teas from the same plant, from same region, that kind of stuff. It's not like cheap stuff, but
it's like small farms. And
there's a company which do that. There's a company in UK actually. I need to check the name. I found out they're very interesting. They have tea from China, Mongolia, Kathmandu, Nepal.
Is it postcard teas?
No. Japan and all that weird countries for tea. And basically they do the same thing. They do basically like the whiskey is from single barrel usually. That kind of alcohol from single barrels. Basically one barrel they use that batch and stuff. They do the same thing with tea, which is very interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the company called? Can you find out?
Yeah, I have it in my computer because I don't remember the name, but I can send you the link. You can order tea, whatever tea you want. You have matcha even.
So if I buy that tea, will you stop bitching and have the tea over here? Yeah?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, probably. Okay, thanks. So even then there's no uncertainty. So I'm going to spend like 30 quid or 40 quid or whatever on some tea, and Ray's going to be like, no, I'll have water in it, bro. That's how I imagine it tastes.
Ray doesn't sound as practical.
No, he doesn't.
Mohammed was saying about how carbonated drinks can boost some floral flavours.
What
do you think about that?
I didn't get...
Mohammed was saying and Andre was saying try sparkling too.
Mm?
Mohammed was saying that carbonated drinks can boost some floral flavours. What do you think about that?
The carbonated drinks usually kind of stop your tasting buds of tasting actual taste. So I like champagne and cigars, I love it, but I know it's not. It's alright on a party and stuff, but if you try to smoke a new cigar and understand the cigar, it might be not doing well. The carbonated drinks, the soda water, tonic, all kind of fizzy stuff. It's not the best thing if you try to understand the cigar, in my opinion. If you're on a party, on a beach, or in a great company, you don't care about much of the cigar, what kind of cinnamon or nutmeg or stuff gonna bring you.
Yeah.
You might drink. Yeah, I love champagne with cigars. It's pair very well for me, despite the fact not many people recommend it. But
Sparkling tea.
it's basically what? It's like...
Is that a thing?
Well, why not? It's
Andre just
basically
mentioned
like
sparkling
fizzy.
tea, and he's just like,
He lives in Sweden. They're weird there.
I've got a Swedish camera upstairs.
And Andre is not Swedish, but he lives in Sweden.
Does he? Where's
I
Andre?
think he's-
Andre, where are you from?
I think he's Portuguese.
Okay.
That's why he
So
like
you went
the
from
port.
like really hot, warm to cold and miserable.
Not miserable. I like Portuguese.
No,
Portugal.
Sweden.
Oh, Sweden. I've never been. I've been actually once, long time ago.
Never wanted to go back.
No, I won't actually.
You won't, or you want to? Or you want to?
Yeah, I won't.
Well,
Maybe Andre will invite us for a party.
hint. Sparkling tea is actually from Copenhagen. Apparently.
Denmark, same thing. Scandinavia.
What do we say?
Scandinavia.
They're all the same.
They're all the same.
Finland.
No, Finland is different.
Finland's crazy.
Finland are weird people.
So Finland-
Actually, I'm going in Finland next year. I already booked my holiday for last
I loved Finland. Finland is like the Florida of Europe.
Yeah, they're weird people there, and by their own, they're influenced by the Russians, they're influenced by the Germans, they're influenced by the Scandinavia and the crazy cold weather there. So they're weird people.
Cigars are pricey there, though, man.
It's everywhere.
No. Finland is like almost like UK prices. I was there and I was like, but we're in Europe. What's going on? He goes, we just have loads of taxes. Who did I meet? Some guy called Yuka. Awesome guy. I really enjoyed hanging out with him when I was smoking cigars there.
So we've, as far as pairings go, we've said a lot about drinks. What about
Food.
The foods.
So food that you're supposed to eat before.
Well, depend of the food.
So let's say you've got
The best complex pairing is if you match cigar, drink, and food. But that's not easy, because you can't eat, McDonald's and smoke a cigar on the same time.
hey.
In the same time, it's not decent to eat, burger and smoke a cigar. It's not gonna happen. It's not.
What did you have before?
Before a cigar or after cigar?
No.
Yes,
What did you
I
have
mean the
today
pairing.
before we started this?
I have fries. No.
What did you have? No, tell her. What did you have? What did you
pairing,
have? Tell her what you had.
I have a burger.
Which one?
Big Mac.
I don't even want to say what I had. Mine's even more embarrassing.
Yours as
So-
well, yeah.
I found few foods which I like with cigars. Mostly nuts. So nuts doing well. Chocolate. We mentioned chocolate a few times. One of my favorite pairing, especially if you drink in a rum and a decent cigar, is oysters.
Really?
Love oysters.
So you can. I find that I can't generally eat while I'm smoking a cigar. It feels
Champagne
weird.
also. Champagne, oysters, and cigar. I've been on
Together.
Yeah, I've been on endless events where they serve salmon, that kind of stuff. They don't well for me, but they serve also oysters. I'm literally sitting next to the guy with the oysters, and basically smoke, puff, drink. Give me an oyster. Give me an oyster. So I can eat like 3 kilograms of oyster for 1 hour with the cigar.
Oh, what do we have at Isho? What's that place?
Beans.
Edamame.
Yeah.
Peas.
Edamame.
Yeah. Edamame
peas.
is very
Ooh,
decent.
They work extremely well with a cigar.
I think all the Japanese kind of snacks, the seaweed, the edames, the small nigiri, sashimi, all kind of
Yes.
sushi stuff, They do well.
They work extremely well.
But
with
in a
cigars.
small portions, of course.
Small
You're
portions,
not eating like whole roll of sushi.
No,
and
of course
smoke
not.
it.
So
Just
one of
small portions.
the things there's a place called Isho in Leeds, and it's this brilliant restaurant. They've got this like really nice seating area on the outside. Ray, so me, Ray, and Alex, we generally go there to enjoy cigars, and the manager is wonderful there. And one of the things that we always get is
Shout
these.
out to William.
Yeah, William, I probably not watch it.
No.
But they always give us these edamame peas, and they work extremely well with cigars. Like, honestly, so good. Love having that with a cigar.
And would you ever have thought to do that?
No, I would have never ever thought, oh, I'm going to sit down and have some freaking peas. You know, it just wouldn't register ever. But, man, they definitely work. They definitely work.
Yeah, a lot of people. I know a lot of people eating proper nuts. You know, like Brazilian nuts, like peanuts, almonds. I'm not a massive fan of nut stuff. I like some of the nuts, but not all the time. So I'm not. You know, for me, it's not the best one pairing, but that kind of. I think the seafood are not bad as well if you're not getting like a whole piece, you know, whole bowl of prawns or something. If you have a small pieces like small. I don't know. I'd say it's a bites, small bites of octopus. You know, grilled octopus. Octopus work well.
So it's more about snacks, which are effective with, because you don't want to have a snack which is so overpowering that you don't want to eat a 12-ounce steak.
Yeah. You don't want to eat a sirloin or some kind of decent steak in same time smoke.
No, you
it's
have
perfect
that before.
Yeah, or after even. But not on the same time when you
I
smoke.
find
What
that
if they give you very small pieces of steak like they can do in Japan?
Oh, for example, Wagyu. Like Wagyu works because Wagyu you can't eat a lot of it. One of the things that you can't have.
I can. I can.
Because you can't
I can.
afford it.
You can?
I can.
No, I
I
know
eat
someone
12
who's got like a really good. I'll plug them later.
I ate that kind of wagyu last time.
Really?
T-bone wagyu.
Serious?
Yeah.
But the fat doesn't it make you feel sick?
Does it make me feel sick?
Okay, well,
I'll
for
bring you to
regular
the best restaurant in Leeds.
for
to
regular
eat,
people,
steak.
when you have in Japanese restaurants they have like really small pieces of Wagyu in like a serving. It's a bit pricey, but when you have those really small pieces of Wagyu, it works extremely well with a cigar because it works as like a snack along with
If you
it.
use it as a snack, maybe. But usually when you have a proper steak,
No.
you have
No.
a side as a mushy peas, salad. Doesn't matter, fries, all kind of stuff. You eat them together. The whole experience of the steak and stuff, and it's not pair well. Bunching a knife and a fork and chomping from the steak and chewing in your mouth and then smoking a cigar. It's not doing well.
I can imagine Oscar Wilde doing something like that. Just like a steak in one hand and a cigar in the other.
Is the guy still alive?
Probably not.
So
He's not easy.
You see
No.
why?
No.
Andre had a very specific question: duck liver with fig marmalade.
Andre, man, you're going way over top there. Come on, man.
Fig marmalade is
we're just
lovely.
regular people here.
Fig marmalade is lovely.
Is
Love
it?
fig marmalade, yeah. Small crackers, fig marmalade, and Philadelphia cheese. That would do very well.
And I thought, well, he is wearing a 3-piece, to be fair.
Yeah,
You know.
we're regular guys.
Yeah. He comes up in a waistcoat and a pin.
We bring in this guy to make us look well, actually. Or scallop taco, he says as well.
Taco,
Right, Andre, you're not allowed to make suggestions anymore, man. I don't know where to get these things.
taco. Usually I like the tacos chili.
Mm.
I don't like to smoke when I eat chili food. I don't feel anything on the cigar.
Yeah, no, chili food.
Maybe
kind of-
Kraken will be best.
Shut
up. Kraken will be very decent pairing for chili tacos.
Yeah, because you can't taste anything on the cigar.
Exactly.
There's nothing there.
Taste anything.
Listen, Rafa, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry. I didn't. I'm not saying these. Well, I've said a couple of things, to be fair. Don't hate me, Rafa. I will review it. I promise.
Yeah, people are making fun of you for suggesting Oscar Wilde was still alive as well.
No, I was like, yeah, he's dead, right? And then I was like, it was just in that moment. I was like, I don't want to say something stupid, and I said something stupid.
He's very dead.
Yeah, he's very dead.
Because he pairs cigars with the food.
No, that guy. I mean, he's a legend, obviously, but he what did he have? Like 6 steaks in one meal or something ridiculous. But then again, he freaking earned it.
Well, yeah.
Hey, you make Oh crap! I've forgotten the movie's name. I can't believe I've forgotten the movie's name.
What?
Doesn't matter. No.
Oscar Wilde.
No, sorry.
How is your cigar? How is doing the Opus now?
This is tasting a lot better.
Is it?
Yeah. First third, boring.
Okay, he's giving us broke food. Broke food suggestions now.
Ham and cheese croissant. Yes, that's what I'm. I mean, less ham, cheese. Oh wait, cheese works well with the cigar. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be selective though.
Not all cheese.
Not all cheese.
If you
Not
eat
all cheese.
gorgonzola with cigars,
No.
no.
You gotta have like you gotta have relatively lightest cheese, cheese that isn't gonna be too like.
I love cheese.
I wouldn't if
I
it's
can't
like
even think for a proper cheese pairing with a cigar. To be honest, maybe
You know-
some slightly non-taste like mozzarella stuff.
no,
like
not
that.
mozzarella. Mozzarella's too.
It's too weight.
It's too
no,
weighty.
cheese is. I don't think cheese is
Do you
doing
know?
well.
Okay, this is like a basic level cheese, but Gouda, like a good Gouda,
Gouda, yeah.
that works. That works with a cigar because it's not that strong. Doesn't have a
Yeah,
strong
don't
aroma.
start the- yeah.
It's very subtle.
Maybe,
and
yeah.
That
Gouda
works
is
quite
just-
nicely. That works quite nicely with a cigar. But yeah, thanks for that. Dumb it down for us, will you? Cheese actually works quite well. I don't know about croissant though, or croissant.
I can't eat croissant.
Go on, say it properly. Croissant.
Croissant.
There you go.
And
Croissant.
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 Oh, I love the.
Can you say croissant?
No, there's no.
Croissant.
Croissant.
Neither of us is French. Stop it.
You're the
I'll
European
speak-
here. You're supposed to know all the languages.
Yeah, I'm speaking French only with my wife.
Wait, you speak French and your accent's that bad?
Well, I didn't speak much.
Fair enough. Didn't you work like with French people for like ages?
Never.
No? Oh, that was a very brutal never.
No, I never
I don't work with French people.
I never worked
The
with
French?
No, I like France, but I never worked with French people.
No.
Front legs with cigars might be good.
No.
Snails with cigars. Escargot with cigars.
Shut up, man. No.
What?
No.
Snails.
Way too strong.
Snails,
Way too strong.
if
Too
they're
salty as well.
if they're cooked well, why not?
I don't
They're
know,
pretty
it's
much similar to the oysters.
Too salty though.
Yes, oysters, mussels. I've been in France, in South France, in Sète. It's one of the places where I discovered that the oysters doing
But
well with
isn't
the cigars.
escargot's quite salty, isn't it?
Basically, you go into the marketplace in the middle of the center of the town, which is on the beach. It's a very small town, and you can buy that big a plate, sharing plate with all kind of mussels, oysters, seafood. And I was smoking 3 cigars in a row, probably sitting 6 hours there and drinking white wine, and all that food was amazing to smoke it with a cigar.
I mean, that's a good point about salt, though. What about saltiness in food? Because, I mean, our edamame peas are covered in salt.
That's a fair point. Yeah, no, that's true. The edamame peas are covered in salt, so maybe salty food does work. I guess it depends on the cigar,
I
right?
usually don't use salt on my food.
But
Unless
edamame
it's been-
peas,
Unless it's being
escargot,
prepared in a salt,
Yeah.
and but I don't eat a lot of that as well, because in edamame, I don't usually put it in my mouth. I just chop it and eat the beans, which are not salty.
no, yeah.
So I don't like salt usually. I don't eat salt.
It comes with this like spicy sauce, which works really well. That really kind of like refreshes your palate.
The spice, if it's not so spicy, yeah.
No, it's not. It's not spicy. It's like a spicy sauce, but it's not spicy. You know, it's not like spicy
It's
food,
sweet chili.
but it's not sweet. It's
Salty chili.
salty chili. Yeah, it's chili, but it's not spicy. Do you know what I mean? It's just got a nice flavor to it, which has a bit of a yeah. But I think that works quite well.
Andre was suggesting he was suggesting Stilton with gingerbread, or any mouldy cheese with gingerbread.
I don't think the moldy
I don't
stuff
know if he
will.
means with cigars or if that's just together. Because together I can see that, but
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cigars and
yeah.
moldy cheese. I love Stilton. I love brie, all that kind of stuff. You know, the moldy stuff.
It's very, very.
That smell of the
Yeah.
you don't have the you know the
Do you think the opposites are complementary? Or
the opposite. You don't smoke moldy cigars usually.
I'll smoke
but-
one. I don't care.
So they will be opposite pairing, but I don't think it work because the cheese taste will overkill everything. You got
Do you know
that
what? Can I just-
smell cheese in by
Speaking-
itself is nice. Not in the
Speaking
smell.
of moldy cigars, I think we may have come across something called plume, but it doesn't look anything like mold on the cigars. Like it's very, very different, and it doesn't. It's going to be difficult to show though, because Ray brought in some cigars, and they definitely had like some crystal type structure around
It's
them.
like salt.
Yeah. But it was vastly different. And I mean vastly different from what you normally see on a cigar. It is not anywhere near the same look. And yeah,
It's very easy when you move the cigar.
it just kind of dusts off very
Yeah,
quickly. Yeah.
yeah.
Like mold doesn't just fall off. Mold
You need
you gotta
to wipe
wipe
it.
off.
Yeah.
But this thing, it really does dust off quite easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Andre meant with a cigar. So blue cheese, gingerbread, port, and a cigar.
Damn.
Port and cheese, perfect. Yeah, I love port.
Port and Stilton is obviously the classic.
Yeah, but the cigar, I don't know.
Well, we'd have to
Maybe
try
the
it.
port might kill some of the taste of the cheese. You know, that awful taste of the smell of the moldy Stilton or stuff. The port, because it's sweet and rich, it might kill it in some way. And the cigar then will be like the last point of the tasting. It's worth a try. Maybe someday in the future we might have like whole plate with different stuff. Try them when we smoke in a cigar, see how that tastes and stuff, you know. Maybe if we go on some place where they have decent selection of some food, we might order a big plate with different stuff and then start smoking and see if we can.
I want to try some Wagyu with steak with a cigar again. But again, it's not like a full steak. You have like little small cube. You know, like when you get served.
The
in
best
Japanese-
places to go for a cigar and food pairing are the Japanese restaurants.
Yeah, like when they serve you Wagyu like they do in Japan in Japanese restaurants, because they don't serve you a full steak. They will serve you. It's mostly rice, and then a tiny little slither of Wagyu steak, because you're not really supposed to have a big chunky Wagyu steak because it's got too much fat content. It'll make you feel sick. It's just supposed to be that little addition to the meal, and that in that little small slither, it works quite nicely.
I'm
with the
from
cigar.
the Balkans. We have a delicacy in there, which basically we use the pork fat with the skin, we dry it and we eat it like that, which is not a problem. Perfect pairing for cigar could be that.
So pork scratchings.
Not scratchings. I mean the proper size of fat, like inch of fat with the skin on it.
Yeah,
Dry
I'm gonna
it.
pass on that one.
I know you don't like wagyu because it's fat. Imagine that. But I'm from the Balkans, so we eat that kind of stuff.
So we're getting towards the end of the video at the moment.
Why don't we have a bit of a quick fire pairing kind of thing? So,
Go on. Yeah, I'm all right. Ask.
well, I mean, you know, give me a few cigars and a few things that a few types of cigars and a few things you might pair with them. Food and drink.
Vintage Cuban cigars, old Cuban cigars,
Vintage Cuban, like the ones that
old Cuban cigars.
we're talking at least 20 years.
10, 15, let's say that
Okay.
way. The old Cuban cigars, perfect, pair well with wine, red wine. Amazing for me. New cigars, don't pair with wine.
Would you pair new cigars with?
I'm going to that, bro. I just say don't pair with wine.
But what would you pair it with? Quick fire, man, quick fire.
What I'm pairing? Rum, brandy, neat. I mean, all of them neat, not on the cocktails. Brandy, rum, port, for sure. I'm not a whiskey guy. I don't choose whiskey usually. Summer, if it's a Connecticut type of cigar, you know, light, refreshing cigar, Uzu is very nice pairing. Uzu in the summer. Even I can suggest a fruit for that.
What's
Watermelon.
Uzu? What's Uzu?
Uzu is aniseed drink,
Okay.
but it's very refreshing one. Greek one, yeah. Greek one. So Uzu, watermelon, feta cheese on the watermelon, and cigar. Yeah, Connecticut cigar. Not Maduro. Maduro is completely different taste.
You've actually answered one of the questions that Lawrence
Yeah.
had. What would pair with a good Connecticut wrapper cigar?
So I would pair Uzu. I would pair a nice refreshing beer. You know, we mentioned Leffe, we mentioned Duval, that kind of stuff. You can find some decent ciders, not apple ciders. I mean, there's all kind of fruit ciders, cherry ciders, that kind of stuff. Yeah, if you want non-alcoholic drink, you go for. Many people like Dr. Pepper with the Connecticut cigars. I'm not usually a fan of Dr. Pepper drink.
That cherry drink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, vermouth, it's very nice with the Connecticut. I drink in Friday vermouth with the Connecticut cigar. I mixed red vermouth, sweet, slightly stronger with lemonade. I mixed that in not a cocktail. It's just basically 1/2 vermouth, 1/2 lemonade. Do very well with the Connecticut cigar. So that would be my opinion for quick fire up questions for the Connecticut. Maduro, I will go for añejo tequila, which is really oily, really, alcohol.
What about
is
non-alcoholic with the Maduro?
Non-alcoholic with Maduro, coffee probably is one of the best pairings. Maybe some black tea, some kind of Darjeeling, Japanese style, Chinese style tea. The green tea with which is on a spirals type. I don't know the name. Forgot the name.
Can I make a crazy suggestion with a cigar in the summer? Vanilla ice cream.
It's a very good shout because
vanilla ice cream with like a good cigar, hot weather outside.
Ice cream discussion. I have that discussion last summer with a lot of people. Because basically the ice cream is not suggested to be good for cigars. But vanilla ice cream is one of the best pairing for cigars in the summer. I can completely agree.
And
everyone amazing. I mentioned that, everyone try it and everyone say it's amazing.
Utterly brilliant.
Vanilla ice cream and cigar in the summer.
But it has to be like a good
vanilla ice cream, good quality.
None of this like Tesco stuff. I'm talking like
decent vanilla, dairy made. Not like some non-dairy where they use coconut milk and stuff like that. And that for Maduro, I think for Maduro you have more options. Yeah, because the Maduro have different tastes, a lot of different tastes in the Maduro. Connecticut is more blind taste, more blunt, more.
Maduros can have like a quite
rich
a nice
taste.
Yeah, it's a rich taste, but you also can have like a fruity taste to it as well, depending on.
Feel free to experiment. I find the interesting pairing with Maduro as well. B&B liquor, which is basically Benedictine and brandy together. It's still 40% strong alcohol, slightly sweetish with orangey zest on the end. Found it very well with Maduro as well. I tried that not long ago. It was cold weather. So it was really, really nice.
Lawrence was just saying, because we spoke about different drinks for different weathers, which is relatively obvious to some degree. But what about different cigars for different weathers?
I think a strong cigar in a cold weather.
I love smoking in a cold weather. I can smoke everything in cold weather. Yeah. In a hot weather, probably I'll go for Maduro, which are more rich and more. Yeah,
I tend to go for a lighter smoke in a hot weather.
I like to have proper Maduro in the. Well, I smoke. I don't separate the cigars on the weather. Yeah, some people doing it.
I don't. But I find that I don't like. I'm not consciously making any decisions about what cigar I'm smoking because of the weather. Yeah, I don't do that.
Same thing.
But what I find is I do like a relatively light body cigar when it's hot weather, and the reason for that is because when I smoke like a really strong cigar, especially when I'm sat in the sun, it just kind of makes me feel a bit more sluggish, like not relaxed but sluggish, when you're just kind of like a bit wobbly or whatever. Yeah, because the sun kind of mellows you out already, and then you've also got that cigar, and
maybe the weather is not
but yeah, like I said, I don't but like I said, I don't generally look out the window and think, "Oh, sun, I'm gonna smoke this one." That's never really crossed my mind.
Yeah, same.
But personally, I would go for a light body. If I was thinking about it, then I would go for a light body cigar.
What are you gonna drink with Candela?
What's a Candela?
Green wrapper.
I've never had a green wrapper.
You never have Candela?
Never had a green wrapper.
I'll bring you some next time, maybe.
Where's Candela from?
Same way where the other come. Just not fermented that much wrapper. It's a green leaf. Like green tea.
Right, so it could be from any origin.
Yeah, Dominican Republic, Cuban.
So it's a style of leaf as opposed to an original leaf.
Yeah, the color of the leaf, the first color is Candela. Then you have the
isn't that going to be a bit?
It's very grassy. But they have their fans. I know a few people which
are basically. Are we talking like filthy hooligans and all that kind of stuff?
They have Candela. The old one have a pure Candela. The new one's a mix between Habano and Maduro and that kind of stuff. There's a Illusion made Candela, which is very nice. The best Candela cigar is Illusion. I think 88 is the name on the specific brand into the Illusione. I try few other, never been impressed, but the only one which I like a little bit is the Illusion. But Candela is very weird because it's that grassy taste. Basically like you're smoking green tea.
But it's also a little weirdly bitter.
No, it's not bitter.
I find...
No, it's not bitter. No.
I mean, if a cigar is not generally fermented well, they tend to taste a bit...
No, it's fermented, but don't have that color. The color is not dark as the Maduro. They use the bottom leaves. They
Right,
don't use the top leaves.
I see.
They don't have that richness in the color. It's
right, so it's not the bottom leaves, it's the top.
It's the more bottom leaves. No,
it's the bottom leaf.
The top leaf is the ligero and medio tiempo.
Yeah. The bottom leaves generally don't get enough sun, so they don't have...
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Probably they use seco or voado, that kind of stuff. Voado not used for wrapper, but must be seco viso, probably used for candela. Just is not fermented that much to have that brown dark color.
I'm gonna make this is something that I've tried. It didn't work perfectly, but there was something there which kind of worked. And you might laugh at me. Sardines with a cigar.
Salty, man.
It kind of worked in a weird way.
Fish, I'm not a fish person.
No.
I like seafood, not fish.
It worked a little bit. It wasn't like an ideal connection between the two, because one's like, I mean, sardines are really strong, especially when you have them in, like, depending on what you have them in. But I gave it a try, and it was all right. It wasn't that bad. I wouldn't do it again, though. It's not like something I'm going to be like, oh, you should definitely try this one. It was more like, yeah, that's interesting. It did bring out some slightly different flavors in the cigar. Not necessarily all great, but it did kind of give a different vibe on the same cigar. So it was an interesting one.
I'm not willing to try that.
Sunflower seeds was another suggestion.
Sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. I love pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds are nice. Yeah. Pumpkin seeds are really nice. Sunflower seeds, they're a bit bland, aren't they?
No, they're not.
We've just had a super chat from Lawrence.
Oh,
super what?
Oh, thank you, Lawrence. That's very kind of you.
Oh, just a comment. Okay, I get it. I didn't get what you're saying. That's why I said.
Comment.
Okay. Thank you.
Much
so yeah, guys, I'm really appreciating all the ideas. So if you have any weird suggestions you want to try, you're afraid to experiment, you know how to find me. Put it even in the channel or Instagram. I'm alright to try all kind of weird tasting. Because I say I try with the Sambuca, so it won't be awful.
So you want to try all kind of weird tasting, but you don't want to try sardines?
No, because I know how it be.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a fish, it's not something which I haven't before.
Fair enough, yeah.
And I don't like fish usually.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be...
Oh yeah, you did say you're not a fan of like salmon and all that kind of
stuff. Yeah, I don't like
fish
usually. So...
Yeah, if you don't like it usually, then it doesn't make sense. Right, quick word from our sponsor. Final word from our sponsor, Monte Fortuna Cigars. I'm a huge fan. They've been supporting our live streams from pretty early on, and I highly recommend them. They're a fantastic company to buy cigars from. The service is excellent, and they've got a huge selection of cigars, both New World and Cuban. And as I mentioned early on in the video, if you want to keep things a little bit interesting and you don't want to keep smoking the same kind of things, they've got a whole bunch of different samplers available. You've got the options to buy fivers or singles. Fivers are great if you purchase them on a Friday where they've got an offer. You can buy 5 and throw in an extra cigar. So I think that's fantastic. Make sure you check them out. Leave a link below in the description, so please do check them out. And yeah, huge thank you to Monte Fortuna. So I think, yeah, we're on 2 hours.
Let's talk a little bit, just for a few minutes, mention what we're going to do tomorrow.
Well, Andre said orange juice on Bahika 52. That's a bit harsh. I'm sorry, Andre. I was with you on all of them.
I like oranges. I like orange juice, but
I'm not a fan of orange juice with cigars.
I think you missed the first comment from MS, whoever he is still. He was actually suggesting it with a...
Oh, I see.
Artigas D4, for instance.
I try with juices. I didn't find the right juice so far for cigar. So I don't drink alcohol every day. And when I'm not drinking alcohol, either drink tea. If it's a little bit hot, I don't drink tea in the summer, much tea. So I drink juices. I try with the fizzy lemonades, rhubarb lemonades, raspberry. I never find the proper pairing.
The acidity in orange juice and lemon juice kind of... It kind of just coats the mouth. And I find that, But if you like it, I mean, who is it, MS? Yeah. If you enjoy that, then by all means, continue. Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all.
No guarantee stuff in the tasting. If you like something,
if you like something,
it's your cigar, your
free,
taste. Enjoy it.
Precisely. If you bought the orange juice, you bought the cigars. Go nuts. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Tell more about tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going down to London. We're going to the flagship store, and we're going to be doing an interview with Mitchell Orchant. So I'm going to try and put that video up as well.
We're talking about the new merging between
so they've had like a
biggest UK company, biggest Belgium company for cigars. They are now one company called Dominic London.
Yeah, so it's a huge change in the industry. So we're going to be interviewing Mr. Orchant. Should I call him Mr. Orchant? I keep calling him Mitchell. I just feel weird calling him Mr. Orchant. But we're going to be having an interview with him, and then we're going to be discussing a lot of things. But what I'd like you guys to do is, throw in some questions. I'm going to put up a post on the channel asking, if you have any particular questions you want to throw his way, because I don't think we're going to be able to do a live video on that one. But if you have any questions, feel free to send them to us. Send them to Ray, send them to Alex, send them to me. Ideally, it might be good to send it to Alex, because then you can collate. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. Whoever you want to send them to, send them across, and then we will try and get them answered to next week's live stream. What are we doing next week? I think so. We've got a couple of options. Is it Andre who suggested the NFT?
Yeah, we might talk about NFT. It's not my territory, that one.
This is a brilliant subject that Andre's brought up. This is honestly freaking brilliant. So Andre, thank you so much for pointing this one out. Freaking brilliant subject. NFTs and cigars. If you don't know what NFTs are, I'm gonna it's an abbreviation. It basically means non-fungible token, which doesn't explain anything, because I said that to Ray and he was like, yeah, that helped.
I don't like fungibles in my tokens.
If you don't like fungibles, then you should get an NFT, because they're non-fungible. But this is something which could be huge, and I'm talking ridiculously huge for the cigar industry. Or it might not be anything. It might be just a little gimmick, little bubble that just happened, and everyone kind of smiled and waved while it happened. But I think this could be quite an interesting subject. So we may discuss that. Gonna have to do a bit of research on that one though, like a proper amount of research, both on NFTs as what they are, and also how it translates into the cigar industry. The other option that we've got is we could talk about the history of cigars and discuss it.
We might combine them in a wine show, because NFT is not a huge thing to talk about.
Well,
especially, I have nothing to say on NFT.
No, I think if we do some research on it, I promise you'll have a lot to say.
And that's the potential future.
Yeah.
We can talk about the past and the future.
Yeah, I guess we could just put it into like one video then.
Yeah, the history of the cigars and how they develop in the future.
Yes. So we're gonna, we could just
History
make
of
that
the
one
cigars
video.
start with the past, how they've been 500 years ago, where they will be in the next 100 years ago, maybe. Not 100, let's say 50 years ago.
Let's keep it closer. Let's say 15 years.
50,
something that we're gonna still be around for. So, NFTs, the history of cigars. We're gonna be discussing that.
I'm 150 years old, so mine.
You are. Yeah.
Might live another 50.
So if you have any questions relating to that topic as well, just hopefully you guys can come up with some questions too. We'll be obviously happy to answer.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of research to do on this one.
Let us know what you want to talk about. What's interesting for you? We mentioned a few interesting topics in the past. We have some interesting ideas for the future. But if you guys think there's something particularly interesting for you, you want to know more about it, and it's not an only single question answered. Basically we can answer at any time. If you think it's worth to have a proper show on it, we will do our best. We're gonna, even if you don't have the info, we'll find the right people which have the info. We'll ask them, and we'll provide it to you as usual. That kind of discussion, questions fired up. That's why we're here.
Andre mentioned a very good point here as well. He talked about how the NFTs and Ethereum can impact the traceability of cigars, so that could have a huge impact on the security aspects of it. So
there's a few companies already put the barcodes on every single cigar.
No, not barcodes, NFT trace.
Yeah, but still you can. That's another point in the future we might talk next week.
So barcodes, I think, are gonna
where you can stop fake cigars, and when you can find decent, when you scan the QR code on the cigar, and you can find out who rolled it, when it's been rolled, which factory, where is the box, and that kind of stuff, which is very helpful information. Few companies already did it.
We have 2 quick fire questions.
Go on.
Yep.
Mohammed, common errors in smoking and storing cigars. It's not really a question, that's
Leaving them outside the humidor. Keeping them in the sun. Not smoking them. And having gurkhas in your humidor.
I have gurkhas in the humidor. I have cigar left on the sun place to see what's gonna happen. I have cigars which I haven't smoked for a long time. So basically, don't trust Usman.
You asshole.
Yeah, I don't know. Common
No,
mistakes.
tell him about what, you know, every single video you have one message. What's your message?
What my message? Smoke your cigars.
There you go. That's what I just said.
Yeah. So common mistakes. I don't know. There is no. Keep them well humidified.
Yeah.
Keep them stored well. You don't do any other mistakes.
It's-
If you
it's-
keep
it's-
them in the proper conditions, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about cigars is they're quite. I mean, as much as we keep talking about, or a lot of people keep talking about how cigars need to be in like some perfect or whatever, they're actually quite durable in essence. And you know,
What's the other
they're
question?
okay.
The other question was the best value for money cigar on the market, in your opinions.
Cuban. I can mention Cuban, but I'd like you to mention New Worlds first.
New Worlds. Value for money. I would say go for if you can find some more rare brands. You know, Viaje, Ezerzain, Tatuaje. They're decent to try. They're not the best cigars ever. I would say go for a more boutique brands instead of going for the well-known brands. You find better value, you know, even in the way that only you find that cigar in the whole country or in the whole town or your friendship of your close friends. If you only have that cigar, that means something value to that cigar. That's more special than everyone smoking. I don't know, that one, for example. It's not a bad cigar, it's a good cigar, but it's popular everywhere. It's worth £10. So it's
£10 in the UK.
I believe it's $7 in States. I think that's in cigars is around £10-12. It's not expensive cigar. So it all depends, you know. If you want to invest slightly more, you might find more rare brands. If you don't, just go in the shop. If it's a decent shop, decent store, your local B&M and stuff like that, ask the people in the store what they think about. Usually every good shop have at least 1 or 2 people which are very decent tobacconists. They know, they will find your palate. They will suggest you a different specific brands. And I can start naming brands for next 15-20 minutes. I'm not gonna repeat any brand. You know, I know so many brands. If you want more specific stuff, ask me which brand you want to try and which one already tried. You know, from every brand, and I can give you another suggestion from the same brand, which you might want to try again.
I've got 2 suggestions. My 2 suggestions, Cubans. Por Larrañaga Monte Carlo, super inexpensive cigar, 6 inches long, 33 ring gauge.
Found it very mild for me.
It is mild. It is mild. It's a very mild cigar, but it's a very nicely flavored cigar as well, especially when you've like aged it a little bit. Not too long. You can't age that for too long. I'm talking like 3 years maximum, and it's a fantastic cigar. I really like them. I think they're great. They're not expensive at all, and you get a good amount of tobacco in them. Another one is Vigueros, but Vigueros, you gotta like pick the right one, and I think the Tapados is probably one of the best. The Entre Tiempos is good, but it can be quite, it needs a lot more aging, I think. Mananitas, so Vigueros Mananitas, Vigueros Tapados. Those 2 cigars and the Por Larrañaga Monte Carlo. So those are the 3 suggestions that I would make in terms of like best value for money. But if you want extreme value for money,
Do you want the most tobacco for your money?
if you want the most tobacco for your money, then there's only one option.
Or is it €5?
What's this like? €5, and you get 8 by 80.
Probably 30-gram cigar.
Your girlfriend might leave you.
For that.
Yeah.
Just quick suggestions from Andre, which I think is very good. Suggestion for topic is how the marketing of cigars drives the sales more than the actual taste of the blends of cigars.
But that's with every industry, I think. You know, I mean, Apple.
Marketing sales.
Yeah, marketing
But
is huge.
our favourite Gurkha can sell more by their packaging than they can by the taste.
No, I respect Gurkha for that. I really respect.
Yeah,
Gurkha
we
for that.
might talk about marketing as well.
I mean,
yeah.
Gurkha,
maybe
well-
it will be a good part in the when we're talking for the cigar history, because the marketing is, especially the last 20 years, you've seen the difference in the
Yeah.
20 years ago when the cigars have the same band, almost every cigar has pretty much same band with slight different color, and now you have cigars covering the band, like whole cigar is covered with the band with some fancy looking Transformers robot on the band or something like that. Which is,
I mean, look at this band
Yeah.
over here. This is
It's
a
a marketing.
ridiculously good-looking band, and it's a beautiful band. But the thing is, the cigar kind of backs up the band in this one. It's not always the
not
case.
all the time. Yeah.
Not all the time. But yeah, I mean, companies like Gurkha, they do a fantastic job on that. So hats off to them. Well done on the marketing. They do an incredible job on that. So,
I reckon next week will be proper talk about the history of the cigars. Maybe we'll add the infusion cigars in that point, because there was a significant part of the history. Basically, one of the biggest companies start with the infusion cigars, Drew Estate. They start with only infused cigars in the beginning. So yeah, we'll talk about that next week. Will be decent topic to talk about, and I think people will be interested to know more about some of the history of the cigars.
oh yeah, Centrofinos. I should have mentioned that as well. Centrofinos are fantastic. Viguero Sorry, Andre mentioned the Viguero Centrofinos. Fantastic cigar. You age them for about 5 years. That's a really, really good cigar. Brilliant smoke. But they do need aging. They definitely need aging.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Lawrence. Really appreciate the super chat. Awesome of you. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's been great talking to you guys, man. The questions have been fantastic. Like, awesome questions. Brilliant suggestions. Can't wait to see you guys next week. And yeah, typical stuff, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, hope to see you guys soon.
All right. Take care, guys, and smoke your cigars. You don't know how much you left. Smoke them all.